At the start of the drama, we see the hero whose name is Cheng Li. He is very rich, but 1 year ago, in an accident, he lost his eyesight. However, then his hearing power became so strong that he can clearly hear even a whisper from far away. Then we see Cheng Li's aunt, whose name is Mona. Cheng Li suspects Mona caused my parents' accident, therefore he does not trust her. Now we see a scene from 1 year ago. Cheng Li, his mother, and his father are traveling in a car on a mountain road. Suddenly, the brakes failed and the car gets stuck on the edge of a cliff. It could fall at any moment. His father becomes unconscious, and his mother, to save her son, throws him from the car onto the road and screams for help. A car coming from that road stops. A man wearing a red jacket and a cap comes out, but instead of helping, he pushes the car into the cliff. Because of this, Cheng Li's parents die. Cheng Li's eyes get injured and he loses his seeing power. In the present, Cheng Li has hired new servants in the house. Among them is the heroine of the story, Yeon. Then in a flashback, it is shown that 3 days ago, Cheng Li had gone to his hospital for treatment. In the same hospital, Yeon's brother was also being treated. Yeon's father was a security guard there. Now Yeon's brother touches Cheng Li in the bathroom. Cheng Li thinks, he has come to kill me. Therefore, he starts shouting. The guards catch him and Cheng Li scolds him in anger. Then Yeon comes and shouts at Cheng Li, does anyone talk to a sick boy like this? She did not know that Cheng Li is blind. Then her father kneels down and asks Cheng Li, please forgive me. But Cheng Li fires him from the job. In the present, Cheng Li recognizes her voice. He asks her, have we met before? Yeon tells the truth. Cheng Li likes her honesty and keeps her on the job. She does all his work. With time, Cheng Li starts to trust her. Then Mona tells her, give me every piece of information about Cheng Li. Cheng Li hears all this. Then he terminates him. The next day, Cheng Li finds out, my hospital is being sold. He gets panicked, calls his lawyer and says, take me to the hospital. But the lawyer is colluding with Mona. Therefore, he sends some people there and orders, Cheng Li should not reach the hospital under any circumstances. They lock Cheng Li in a room. Cheng Li understands, the lawyer is betraying me. He then cuts a bedsheet to make a rope and jumps from the window to reach the road. There, he is calling for a taxi. Just then, Yeon passes by. She tells him, no taxi passes from here. Then he ignores her, tries to cross the road, and falls. Therefore, Yeon makes him sit on her bike and takes him to his hospital. After going there, Cheng Li says to everyone in the meeting room, no one can sell this hospital without my permission because I am its owner. In that meeting, we see the villain of the drama, Nathan, who leaves from there after Cheng Li's arrival. Then Cheng Li says to Mona, what is the need for you to sell the hospital? That too, without asking me. She says, the hospital is going into loss. Therefore, I wanted to sell it and invest in the company. Cheng Li gets angry at her and says, I know you want to seize all my property. You also caused my parents' accident. Hearing this, Mona is shocked and asks, how can you blame me? Why would I cause my own sister's accident? So he says, lawyer Xuan is also your man. He had locked me in the room. After he leaves, Mona thinks about her husband, JJ Xuan, Nathan, and JJ. All three are friends. Now she feels these three are united for some purpose. Then she goes to JJ. There, she hears him talking to Nathan. Nathan tells JJ, you should have killed him while causing his parents' accident too. You still have time. Mona hears all this and says to JJ, I could not imagine that you would stoop to this level. JJ, on the contrary, blames her and says, you are no less. You are not getting Cheng Li treated because of this property. I did all this for both of us. Then, through a flashback, it is revealed, JJ had an affair with a girl. Therefore, Nathan blackmailed him and said, you will have to murder Cheng Li and his parents. Otherwise, I will leak your information. Then the property will be yours, so give me half of it. Therefore, JJ had failed the car's brakes. And then, reaching there, he was the one who pushed the car. In the present, Mona tells her assistant, follow JJ. When JJ goes to meet that girl, she takes his photos and sends them to Mona. Then, Mona reaches there quickly to catch her husband on the spot. She sees that the girl is her best friend. Therefore, Mona gets very angry at both of them. But JJ catches her and throws her down from the stairs, which results in Mona's death. Then, JJ calls a criminal and makes a deal with him, infect Cheng Li with the virus present in his hospital so that he goes insane. Then we will put the blame on him saying he murdered Mona. Then he will die from the virus or we will have him arrested. On the other side, Cheng Li says sorry to Yeon and tells her, come back to the job. At his insistence, she agrees. In the next scene, the criminal calls Cheng Li to the hospital on the pretext of telling him about his parents' murderer. So Cheng Li reaches there with Yeon. The criminal had already kept the virus in the lab. As soon as Cheng Li goes into the lab with Yeon, he opens that virus. Cheng Li understands the virus. An antidote was kept right there, but since there was only one injection, Yeon tells Chung-Lee, inject yourself, while her own condition was also very bad. Just then, Yeon's dad helps Chung-Lee in getting Yeon out. In the next scene, Chung-Lee is in the hospital. Upon his regaining consciousness, JJ tells him, the criminal you sent to kill Mona has told the whole truth. Actually, JJ had tempted that criminal and told him to say, I killed Mona at Chung-Lee's behest. Now the police arrest Chung-Lee along with that criminal. Chung-Lee finds out, in jail, that criminal will try to kill me. Therefore, he makes a plan with one of his companions to trap that criminal. Seeing the criminal going into the bathroom, he goes after him. The criminal is very happy to see him and thinks, now I will be able to kill him. But Chung-Lee hangs himself there with a rope. Just then, his companion brings the police there and says, this man wants to kill Chung-Lee. Then, the officers beat that criminal severely. After a few days, the criminal falls ill. He is also infected by that virus. Therefore, he requests Chung-Lee, please get me the antidote. Chung-Lee tells him, fine, but you will have to tell me the whole truth. Then the criminal tells him, JJ hired me to kill you. He also murdered Mona. Then Chung-Lee is taken to the hospital for a checkup. There, JJ says, send him to a mental hospital. Hearing this, Chung-Lee tries to run away from there. Just then, Mona's assistant starts taking him from there, but JJ comes after him. Seeing the police coming, Mona's assistant tells him, sit in the taxi, and she goes ahead. But Chung-Lee mistakenly sits in JJ's car. Mona's assistant says to Chung-Lee, this is JJ, get out of the car quickly. So Chung-Lee starts making noise. JJ stops the car on a bridge. As soon as Chung-Lee comes out, he tells him, your death is written by my hands just like your parents. Chung-Lee says, I will definitely come back to take my revenge. And then he jumps down from the bridge. JJ becomes happy, thinking, now I am rid of him. But the next day, we see Chung-Lee on a pile of garbage. In the next scene, JJ and his girlfriend are caught by her dad, whose name is Neil. He gets very angry at JJ. So JJ says, your daughter killed my wife. If anyone finds out about this, it will not be good for your reputation. Then he makes a deal with him. I will help you in becoming the president, but you will have to accept me. Neil agrees. Then after a long time and a lot of suffering, Chung-Lee bumps into Mona's assistant one day. His condition is so bad that she cannot recognize him, but Chung-Lee recognizes her by her voice. Then Mona's assistant Penny takes him from there. In the next scene, JJ finds out Nathan's dad had a relationship with another woman, from whom he had a son. Nathan's dad had sent him to America. JJ then goes to America to meet that boy. His name is Andrew. JJ thinks about preparing Andrew to use him against Nathan. On the other side, Penny gets Chung-Lee's eye surgery done, after which his face surgery is performed, which Chung-Lee got done to take revenge on JJ. Then we see a scene 5 years later. Chung-Lee, after studying abroad, goes to Nathan's company to give an interview for a job, where JJ also works at a high post. Chung-Lee's plan was, by working there, I will be able to take revenge on Nathan and JJ. In the next scene, we see Yeon, who says, while looking at her dad's picture, today is my interview. If I get the job, I will get my brother's treatment done properly. Actually, in the past, her dad died while saving Yeon from the virus. On the other side, Andrew also comes to Korea. He had not told this to JJ. Therefore, he was looking for a place to stay. In such a situation, he meets Yeon, who works part-time in that house. She shows him a room for rent. In the next scene, while going for the interview, Chung-Lee bumps into Yeon. He recognizes her by her voice. Just then, Andrew calls Yeon by another name because she had also changed her name. Now Chung-Lee feels, I have had a misunderstanding. Therefore, he leaves from there. Then, they all give the exam for the interview, after which we see that Chung-Lee, Andrew, and Yeon, all three get selected. JJ says to Andrew, now you have to work well and get close to your dad. Then, all selected candidates are sent for training, where the trainer tells them, the competition is going to be very hard. Only a few people among you will be selected. After which, the training starts. Seeing the results, JJ is curious about Chung-Lee and thinks, who is this who is coming at rank 1 in every competition? He wants to bring Andrew to the first rank at any cost. Therefore, he makes a plan. He gets a digital pen placed in Chung-Lee's bag through one of his men. When Chung-Lee sees it, he understands JJ's plan. Just then, JJ comes there with some people and says, we have found out that there is a spy here too. Therefore, we have to search the luggage of all of you. Then, that pen comes out of Chung-Lee's bag. Chung-Lee says, this is not mine. Someone has done all this to trap me. But he does not listen to him. Chung-Lee says, I am not a spy. I give you a number, you can ask them about me. JJ does not agree, but Chung-Lee's trainer says, let him make a phone call. So JJ has to agree. On the other side, Penny is with Nathan's mom. Actually, Chung-Lee calls them. Through Penny, these two had met before. She asks Chung-Li, is there a problem? So Chung-Li tells her the whole story. So she talks to JJ herself. I know this boy very well, therefore you leave him. Then JJ has to leave him. The next day, everyone is told to form teams for a cooking competition. Chung-Li forms a team with a girl whose name is Roshi. Andrew also joins Chung-Li, but the trainer says a team will consist of 2 people. Therefore, Andrew pairs up with Yeon. Now Chung-Li asks Roshi, do you know how to cook? So she says, no, because of which Chung-Li loses in that competition. But the judges like Yeon's food very much. Therefore, she wins this competition. In the next scene, JJ meets Andrew, tells him about another exam, and also gives him the answers. Andrew says, I can do it myself. But JJ says, no, you have to get close to your dad at any cost. After the exams, Andrew comes at rank 1, while Cheng-Li is at the 2nd position. Chung-Li gets suspicious of Andrew. The next day, there is a martial arts competition in which Chung-Li competes with Yeon. He considers her weak, but Yeon picks him up and throws him down, after which both fight well. The next day, JJ comes and discusses a case with all the members. We do not know who leaked the data in our company. He was going somewhere to a mountain place, then we found his car fallen down. But his dead body has not been found to date. Now you people have to research well on this case and prepare so that the judge gives the decision in the company's favor. Then, the trainer tells all members to form teams. Yeon comes into Chung-Li's team, but a girl who is her teammate makes fun of Yeon. Therefore, Yeon says, I do not want to team up with anyone. I will make the report alone. On the other side, Cheng-Li keeps an eye on Andrew. He gets a call, so he stands up and goes to the side. Cheng-Li hears his conversation that Andrew is talking to JJ. He calls him to meet. Cheng-Li does not understand why he wants to meet Andrew. He then follows him. There, JJ gives a pen drive to Andrew and says, all case information is in this. In the next scene, we see Roshi talking to someone, so we find out that Roshi is from the Intelligence Bureau. She has joined this company for a special mission. That man gives a hint to Roshi about the case and leaves. In the next scene, Chung-Li goes with Roshi to that place and stops the car quickly. Then he finds out that the car did not fall by mistake. Rather, that man had intentionally pushed it down. Therefore, she had come to check. Then, Andrew also comes there and requests Chung-Li, I want to work with you. Otherwise, I feel I will lose. Everyone suspects the man staged a fake accident and sold Dodo Group's reports to a competitor. Mojo shows the footage in which the staff member looks fat. Yeon says, with this size, he cannot swim very far. Then Roshi says, look at his watch. This is a professional diver's waterproof watch. And everyone is shocked. While watching the CCTV, Andrew says, you two rest, I will watch first. But both of them fall as Chung leap. Then Gina, watching the footage alone, sees the staff member in a diver suit getting into a car in a camera 5 kilometers away and notes down the car number. She says to herself, you people did not take me in the team. Now see what I do. Later, it is revealed the man is alive. He now calls himself Joy, and the competitor's lawyer, Charles, had given him money. Yeon has given his car number to the police. Therefore, the police catch him through a traffic camera. In the office, JJ secretly gives a pen drive to Andrew. Andrew says with a smile, the result of hard work is always first, while Chung-Li goes to the 9th rank. Just then, the trainer Mojo says, this ranking is temporary, because Chung-Li has told Mojo, I will bring you all the information about that man. Then, in the second hearing of the court, Charles puts an accusation. JJ says, Robin, meaning the man who sold the documents, is dead. Just then, Chung-Li brings Robin with the police and says, he is alive, and this is the truth. Then, everyone finds out. Robin had sold Dodo Group's reports to a competitor. Seeing him, Charles gets badly panicked. Then proof of Charles's calls is found in Robin's mobile. Charles says, I must have called for some other case. But JJ shows the judge Robin's message in which it was written, Dodo Group people are asking about me. I think I am going to be caught. And Charles's reply was, somehow get out of there. We will meet after the hearing. This becomes strong evidence. Robin says, I had not sent the message, but the judge announces the decision, due to which Dodo Group wins. Then Nathan meets Chung-Li and praises him, but there is anger in Chung-Li's heart because his parents were killed because of this Nathan. Still, he remains silent. Nathan scolds JJ, but Chung-Li says JJ motivated us, due to which JJ starts doubting Chung-Li. He asks, who are you and what is your purpose? Cheng-Li makes up a false story and JJ believes it. The final results are announced. Cheng-Li is at the 1st rank, Andrew at 4th. Then, a total of 8 people are selected for training in China. In China, everyone stays in a luxury hotel. The training is on the beach. Mojo tells them, you have to catch a man named Michael who is making fake medicines of Dodo Group. The plan is, his tie pin will have to be replaced with a camera pin, or he will have to be defeated in a game. Yeon comes to the party in a yellow dress and a pink ribbon. Chung-Li scolds her and changes her look, making her look stunning. Michael comes to the party. Roshi dances with him first but is unable to change the pin. Then, Yeon dances. Michael flirts and gives his room number. She accidentally steps on his shoes and gets nervous. Then, Yeon drinks in front of Michael and behaves awkwardly. Then, she intentionally spills the drink on Michael and sends him for a shower. Michael takes off the tie pin. Just then, the doorbell rings. Yeon opens the door where Chung-Lee and Andrew are standing. Michael also comes toward the door. Yeon scolds both of them. "Why have you come here?" And they say, "We came because we were worried about you and you are asking why?" Meanwhile, Michael comes close. She says, perhaps they have come to the wrong room, and quickly closes the door. Michael believes her and goes to bathe. Then Yeon fixes the camera pin on his tie. Next scene, Chung-Lee and Andrew play a game with Michael in the casino. This is their second plan. If Chung-Lee or Andrew wins, Michael will be impressed and come close to them, and we will find out about his fake medicines business. Chung-Lee defeats him. Therefore, Michael gets impressed by him. Next scene, JJ finds out Cheng-Lee has won the game. Now Michael will perhaps make him a partner. JJ wanted Andrew to win. JJ's assistant says, Cheng-Lee is capable. We can take him on our side. JJ says, Andrew is the chairman's son. We will use him for our goal. Michael's assistant gives him Yeon's number. Then he messages her, which she shows to everyone. The next day, Gina goes to meet Michael. Michael says while giving her a bouquet, "You are very beautiful." Cheng-Lee and Andrew, hiding, are giving her instructions. Andrew tells her, "Listen, son, see what he is going to do under the pretext of praising you." Yeon, putting her hand on her ear, says, "Shut up." Michael asks, "What happened?" She says, "I am hungry." Michael takes her to a restaurant. Just then, he goes to the side to listen to a business call. So Chung-Lee and Andrew scold Yeon. Michael comes back. Seeing them from a distance, he is unable to recognize them. Then Chung-Lee and Andrew go to their table. Michael comes and asks, "Who are you people?" To hide his face, Chung-Lee kisses Andrew. Michael thinks this is some couple. Therefore, he leaves from there with a smile. Then, Michael and Yeon are on the beach. Andrew calls and tells him Chung-Lee and Yeon are spies. Michael says, "So you came for the game." Michael gets suspicious of Yeon. JJ had told Andrew to tell Michael everything so that Chung-Lee and Yeon get trapped, and Andrew comes to the first rank. Michael calls Chung-Lee to his house on the pretext of a game. He makes him drink something and makes him unconscious. Then they connect him to a device. Michael also brings Yeon. Chung-Lee controls his subconscious and speaks the truth. Michael starts trusting him. Both come out alive. JJ says in a meeting with other candidates, Andrew is becoming Michael's partner. We will stop the fake medicine business. Just then, Chung-Lee comes there and asks, "Who is the traitor among us?" JJ says, "This was the plan. Andrew played the role well. He did not commit treachery." But Chung-Lee takes Andrew to the side and asks, "Why did you do this? Our lives could have been lost because of you." Andrew does not give him any answer. Andrew meets Michael with the people sent by JJ. Cheng-Lee follows them with the police. In a flashback, it shows that when Michael captured Chung-Lee and Yeon, Chung-Lee said in Chinese, "Andrew is a spy for Dodo Group." Michael asks, "Where's the team?" Chung-Lee says, "No, I am an enemy of Dodo Group." Michael trusts him. In the present, JJ also reaches there. So Michael says, "So this was the planning of all of you." Then he leaves Chung-Lee. Later, Chung-Lee says to Michael, "I want partnership in the fake medicine business." Michael says, "I will think and tell you." Next scene, Chung-Lee goes to talk to JJ offers him money. So Chung-Lee says, "I am not doing this for money. JJ and Dodo Group are responsible for my parents' murder. I have come to take revenge on them." Actually, Michael was testing Chung-Lee from there to see if he was trustworthy. Therefore, Chung-Lee says this to JJ. Then, Chung-Lee gives his name as Chong Cheng-Lee and tells a fake story. 8 years ago, JJ fired my papa from the job, after which he committed suicide. Mom also died, and I was left alone. On this, JJ gets convinced. Michael also trusts Chung-Lee and makes him a partner. The next day, Michael takes Chung-Lee by boat to a large ship where, in reality, fake medicines were being made, meaning a floating factory. On the pretext of the bathroom, Chung-Lee calls Yeon, tells her his location, and asks her to bring a police officer with her. Meanwhile, Michael and Chung-Lee play a casino game. Chung-Lee pretends to lose intentionally. Just then, a police raid occurs. Michael gets panicked and starts running with Chung-Lee. Chung-Lee, fighting with the police, helps Michael escape. Then, the chairman calls Chung-Lee and praises him and offers him prize money, which Chung-Lee refuses, at first calling it his duty, but the chairman makes him accept it forcefully. In the next scene, Chung-Lee asks Penny about Yeon. So, Penny's assistant tells him Yeon and her family are dead. Hearing this, Chung-Lee gets very sad. In a flashback, it is revealed Gina had changed her name for her and her special brother's safety. Now the brother's treatment is going on in a hospital. In the next scene, the PA tells the chairman, the staff member with whom you had an affair was pregnant. Your wife fired her and that child was yours. The chairman asks in shock, where is she? The PA tells him, she is dead, but her son is alive and is abroad. Hearing this, the chairman gets angry. On the other side, JJ tells Andrew, now you will be able to meet your papa. JJ's plan was to get power and property by telling the chairman the truth about the illegitimate son. In the next scene, Chung-Li forcefully makes Cindy, the chairman's daughter, sit in a parlor and starts getting her hair and dress changed. Yeon and her friend come to the same parlor. Penny also reaches there. Then both are shocked to see each other. Yeon is afraid, lest Penny recognizes me, but Penny acts as if she does not recognize her. On the other side, the chairman's daughter Cindy asks for the way to the VIP room to select, slaps Yeon in anger for not taking out a dress considering her a staff member. Yeon locks the door, teaches Cindy a lesson, pulls her hair, and leaves after warning her to talk with respect. When Chung-Li goes into the VIP room, Cindy screams and says, catch the girl who did this. Chung-Li understands Yeon has done this, therefore he sends her away from there. Then he takes Cindy to a blind date fixed by her dad. There, that boy Jude praises Cindy, but Cindy, to escape from all this, catches Chung-Li's hand in front of everyone and says, I like this one. Coming out, Chung-Li scolds Cindy. So, Cindy tells the truth, I did this drama to take revenge on you and I am sure that Papa will fire you from the job. Just then, the chairman comes from behind, and Chung-Li acts like he is close to her. So, Cindy tells the truth in anger, hearing which the chairman gets angry at her. In the SPD, JJ sees secret data with level 2 access and understands Nathan is doing some dangerous work. Seeing Chung-Li coming, JJ closes the system. Chung-Li gets suspicious and later tries to access it, but it shows denied. Then JJ tells Andrew, Nathan has a tie-up with a chemical company and he is using T9 carcinogenic chemical, which is a cause of cancer. The next day, Penny finds out from a hospital employee, Dodo Group's products are the reason for cancer. Then, in the office, Chung-Li intentionally serves food in Dodo Group's plates and bowls for Nathan. As soon as Nathan hears it, he spits out the food. Then Chung-Li gets convinced the products are indeed dangerous. In the next scene, Cindy comes to the office, so Yeon is shocked to see her. Cindy also recognizes her and says, now it will be more fun. Come up, let's talk. In the cabin, Yeon apologizes while crying. Cindy gets angry at first, but Chung-Li makes her understand. If Yeon posts something on social media, it will bring a bad name to Cindy. Cindy then leaves her. Coming out, Yeon asks Chung-Li, can I have $2,000? After telling him about her family condition. Chung-Li also agrees, and a deal of monthly installments is made, which she accepts. On the other side, Nathan shows photos to JJ and tells him, your wife Kimmy is united with Kaya, on which JJ remains silent. Then, Nathan's lifestyle is shown where he gives money to those doing illegal work, spends millions on gambling and dating, and gets free treatment of cancer patients done to keep his image clean. In a hospital, an injured worker from Nathan's plant dies. The doctor, getting panicked, sends the corpse to Dodo Group Hospital at Nathan's behest. The worker's wife and brother find out later. He is dead. Then, JJ makes a deal with them, so they are forced to agree to remain silent in exchange for money. Nathan gets happy with JJ's work. In the next scene, Mojo calls Chung-Li and tells him the T9 case has been given to Roshi, and asks Chung-Li to bring coffee for Cindy. Cindy sends Chung-Li to get fresh coffee made. In the lift, Chung-Li asks Roshi, why are you so interested in the T9 project? Where Roshi says, I want to prove myself the best. On the other side, Neil announces Kimmy as a National Assembly candidate in a public function, due to which the chairman gets furious. Neil, JJ, and Kimmy celebrate because Kimmy has entered politics and JJ has won Nathan's trust. Neil says both sides will have to be kept in control and first Nathan will have to be removed. Penny tells Chung-Li Nathan keeps his black money with gangster Bobby and explains to him the plan of his building from where the data is to be copied. Then Chung-Li hacks the laptop and copies the data, but Bobby comes back. So Chung-Li creates a short circuit. Bobby gets suspicious. Then Chung-Li is caught while trying to escape. Just then, Roshi enters. She defeats everyone and saves Chung-Li and takes him into the lift. Chung-Li removes her mask and is shocked to see Roshi. Then, coming out of the lift, both hide in a room. Roshi breaks the grill of the window and makes a way to escape. Bobby tells his men, jump down! But Chung-Li and Roshi were hidden in the bathroom. Chung-Li suddenly opens the door and breaks Bobby's nose, and both run away. Chung-Li is unable to go far because of his injury. Roshi then hides in a shopping complex and puts a bandage on Chung-Li's wound. Chung-Li asks her, who are you? Both do not tell each other anything. Then, Chung-Li gives the pen drive to Penny, but it contains only porn videos. The chairman's wife finds Andrew's mom's photo, ring, and ID. She is shocked. She tells JJ, find the chairman's illegitimate son. Then in the lift, Andrew sees the chairman, meaning his dad, in front of him, but he does not recognize him. Andrew gets jealous seeing him loving Nathan and Cindy. In the next scene, Kaya, Andrew, and Yeon go to jail to meet a witness, whom JJ had put Kaya behind, but the witness does not say anything out of fear. Then, Bobby gets the office vent repaired, so Penny's assistant comes to fix it. He fixes a camera there, due to which Penny and Chung-Lee see everything. Then, Chung-Lee and Roshi watch the camera footage that Bobby wears a hard disk necklace around his neck, and there is a secret locker behind a painting. Chung-Lee says, by seducing him, you can get access to these two things. Roshi is hesitant at first, but Chung-Lee convinces her, so she agrees. On the other side, Andrew and Yeon observe Kaya in the hospital. She tells them, earlier I used to work in Dodo Group lab. At that time, I was pregnant, so because of the chemical made there, my daughter got cancer. Right there in the witness care center, he calls Kaya and asks her to come to the care center. Now, by chance, Kaya's mobile is with Yeon. Therefore, she goes there with Andrew. The witness tells them, if I told the truth, these people would kill me. Yeon says, don't be afraid, we will save you. The witness tells them, I was a researcher in Dodo Lab. I had told Kaya's husband that T9 is dangerous. He had also recorded a video. We see that it is with Bobby. The witness's doctor calls Bobby and tells him about Andrew and Yeon. Just then, Chung-Lee hears him talking through the camera and understands Yeon is there. Bobby says, do not spare those two. They must be spies. Chung-Lee calls Yeon and says, get out of there. Your life is in danger. Then Yeon also tells Andrew, our lives are in danger. Both lock the room and escape from the hospital through the window. But when they come to a petrol pump to get petrol filled in the car, Bobby sees the witness. And the witness, while running away on seeing him, dies in an accident. Bobby wants to interrogate Yeon and Andrew too, but when JJ's name comes up, he is shocked. In the next scene, JJ asks Bobby, where is the witness's mobile? And what are Dodo Group's secrets? Bobby gets angry. On the other side, Andrew thinks, how did Chung-Lee find out about our danger in the hospital? Then he also tells JJ. So JJ says to him, in previous days, someone had gone into Bobby's office. Then from the wound on Chung-Lee's stomach, he confirms the one who entered Bobby's office was Chung-Lee himself. In the next scene, Chung-Lee and Roshi trap Bobby and get the details of the Swiss bank and black money. Along with this, the hard disk and documents are copied. Then by doing a drama of an attack, Chung-Lee and Roshi escape and Bobby feels everything is safe. Then while going back, JJ is following Chung-Lee. Noticing it, Chung-Lee goes straight to JJ's house. JJ is surprised. Chung-Lee says, I have an important piece of information. All the details of Bobby and Nathan's black money are in this pen drive. JJ asks, you work for Mojo, then why are you giving it to me? Chung-Lee says, Dodo Group's info is so sensitive that Mojo will not be able to handle it. Therefore, I am giving it to you and I want to prove my loyalty. JJ's suspicion of Chung-Lee is removed. On the other side, Yeon and Andrew are in the hospital when the police come to arrest Kaya in the T9 case. Nathan has done all this. Seeing the news of Kaya's arrest on TV, Chung-Lee remembers Bobby's mobile was in his locker. He suspects there is some secret in the phone. Chung-Lee tells Penny, in the photo attached to the phone case, there was also a child. Right there, Penny sends her assistant to Yeon's brother's hospital. It is confirmed there, Yeon has changed her name and she is working in Dodo Group. On the other side, Gina is with Kaya's daughter. The girl cries, so she consoles her. Then Chung-Lee comes. Penny is standing outside and the assistant calls and tells the truth. Penny is looking at Yeon shockingly. So, Chung-Lee asks, why are you staring at her? Penny dismisses the matter, and Chung-Lee finds out from Yeon, Kaya's husband died because of Dodo Group, and the big secret of T9 Chemical was in his mobile, which is now missing. Penny wants Chung-Lee should not find out about Yeon's real identity, otherwise our plan will fail. JJ gives the evidence against Dodo Group and Nathan, which he got from Chung-Lee, to Charles, and makes a plan to trap Nathan. Chung-Lee secretly records JJ's words. Charles sends Chung-Lee to bring the mobile from Bobby's locker, but at the time of the raid, the locker turns out to be empty, so Chung-Lee takes Bobby in his car. On the other side, the police take action against Nathan. He tries to erase the evidence, but still gets arrested. The chairman gives a warning in anger, if it is your mistake, I will not get your bail done. While JJ also does the drama of handling everything. Bobby starts trusting Chung-Lee completely, and he calls JJ and tells him the mobile is hidden by Bobby. Now JJ makes a new plan. He will fight the case in support of Kaya so that he can trap her more deeply. But Yeon's friend, lawyer John, gets ready to take the case without fees and Kaya signs on it. On the other side, Bobby plans to escape, but his bank accounts have been sealed. He tells Chung-Li, I will extract money from Nathan through the mobile. Chung-Li secretly makes a plan with JJ. I will bring Bobby to you on the pretext of a ship. Therefore, Chung-Li is cleverly taking Bobby toward the port, but in between, Bobby stops at a building where JJ is tied up. Chung-Li is shocked to see JJ. Bobby beats JJ and says, you trapped me with the police. Even if he wanted to, Chung-Li is unable to do anything. On the other side, Charles is coming while tracing the location with the police. Bobby takes out a knife to kill JJ and gives it to Chung-Li, but Chung-Li hits the handle of the knife on JJ's stomach. JJ is saved, and just then, the police reach. Bobby's men are caught. Bobby tries to run away, but Chung-Li catches him and beats him. The delivery man brings the phone which contains all the evidence, and JJ hugs Chung-Li. Due to Dodo Group's influence, Nathan gets bail. The chairman calls Nathan into the room and beats him badly in anger, while Cindy does not care. Nathan goes to the office in an injured condition and gives Temptation of a bonus to the team. Somehow get me out of this case. Gina is worried because innocent Kaya is still in jail. In the next scene, the chairman finds out Charles has video evidence that T9 is carcinogenic and is spreading cancer. The chairman chooses Mojo to handle the case. IZJ tells Neil, on the basis of evidence, Nathan will be sent to jail forever. Andrew secretly overhears. Kaya is in the hospital due to being a cancer patient. So, Chung-Li says to her, proof of T9 being dangerous will be given in the court, and Nathan will get severe punishment, and all this became possible because of your struggle. Hearing these things, tears come into Kaya's eyes. The next day, before the court hearing, Chung-Li, Yeon, and Andrew explain the questions and answers to Nathan. On the way, Nathan misbehaves with Yeon, seeing which Chung-Li applies sudden brakes, and Yeon cleverly pricks a pen in Nathan's leg. Reaching the court, JJ and Charles talk about the evidence. Nathan calls out, I am innocent, in front of the media. In the court, Bobby and his partners say the illegal business happened without Nathan's knowledge. Then, Charles raises the issue of T9 and carcinogenic evidence. The video is played, but suddenly the evidence is found to be missing, which reveals Mojo got the data deleted at the chairman's behest so that Dodo Group's image is not spoiled. The hearing is broken and everyone gets in detention. Yeon gets emotional after reading Kaya's letter and decides, I will become a witness. The court starts again, and Yeon, standing on the witness stand, tells the truth. I had seen Nathan and Bobby talking about murder and T9 misuse, and I also have their video recording. Nathan gets angry, but the judge silences him. She tells in an emotional speech, how many people got cancer because of T9? A mother-daughter's life was ruined, and my silence till now was also a treachery which I committed with my people. Hearing this, tears come into Chung-Li's eyes. Then the judge gives Nathan a punishment of 6 years of rigorous imprisonment for the crime of illegal business and using dangerous T9 chemical. JJ is happy while Yeon is sad outside the court because she is afraid of losing the job, but Chung-Li and Andrew support her. Yeon's video comes on media, due to which the public turns against Dodo Group. Then the chairman, under pressure, asks for forgiveness from everyone in a press conference. He promises not to get Nathan's bail done and to give compensation to the victims, and a ban is put on T9. There, JJ secretly plans to buy the company by making Dodo Group's shares fall, in which Korean VIPs were helping him. In the next scene, when Yeon goes to the office, the chairman's wife slaps her and kicks her out of there. She does not lose heart and decides to find a new job. Andrew and Cheng-Li want to help her, but she refuses. In the next scene, JJ and Cheng-Li are in a car, and JJ says, now the time has come to make Dodo Group mine. Cheng-Li is shocked. JJ takes him to a secret office where he makes a plan to fall Dodo Group's shares. During dinner, Korean VIPs meet with JJ, among whom is Victor. Cheng-Li finds out these very people are giving money to JJ and political plans are also going on. On the other side, the chairman gets a phone and a call which Cheng-Li makes and plays JJ's recording. The chairman gets confused and orders an investigation. Mojo sends Roshi to find out about Andrew. She is shocked to see Andrew's photo in the university's photo album and sends a mail to Mojo. Mojo is also shocked to see it. Mojo then tells the chairman, your son has been found. He works in our own company. JOG has been helping him for a long time. The chairman suspects JJ must have kept him here intentionally. On the other side, Yeon does not get a job in any office, so she works as housekeeping in different buildings, then distributes notices and works as a waitress in a restaurant. Chung-Li comes to that restaurant, seeing whom she is shocked. Chung-Li asks whether you ate food or not. and forcefully makes her eat. Later, Yan tells him, I have to do another job where I will be a driver. After work, when she comes for the driver's job, Chung Lee is the client there too. He says, today I will become Yeon's driver, and drops her home. He gives a tip, but Yeon refuses and says, there should only be friendship between us, not a favor. JJ brings Andrew to the chairman's house. Andrew tells him, I joined Dodo Group only to understand my father. Then he asks, can I call you dad? Hearing which the chairman gets emotional. Both have dinner together. The chairman says, now Andrew does not need to work as an employee, but Andrew wants to remain in the SPD. Then the chairman gets a call on the phone sent by Chung Lee, in which Chung Lee says, in a voice changer, I have more evidence, and the chairman will have to come alone. The chairman then reaches a church where Chung Lee shows him proof of how JJ, along with Korean VIPs, wants to buy the company by making Dodo Group's shares fall. The chairman, in anger and shock, asks Chung Lee, who are you? Chung Lee removes the voice changer, comes forward and says, I am Chang, an employee of your company. The chairman asks, Chang, were you showing me all the proof? If you wanted to help me, what was the need to do it secretly? Chung Lee says, I was collecting all this information by staying with JJ, and if JJ had found out that I am working against him, he would not have spared me. The chairman says, fine, this is a good thing, but why are you working against JJ? Chung Lee says, sir, JJ had done very bad things with my family, and I want to take revenge on him for that very thing. Then he says, sir, I will tell the rest of the things after coming to the office. The next day, JJ says to Chung Lee and Andrew, there is an enemy among us, some spy who is telling everything to the chairman, and we have to find him out. Chung Lee starts staring at Andrew. So, Andrew says nervously, what are you looking at me for? Are you considering me a spy? I suspect you. Both are suspecting each other. Then JJ says, shut up, both of you. Chung Lee, these days the chairman is closer to you. You find out who the spy is by staying with him. After JJ leaves, Mojo tells Chung Lee, Andrew is the chairman's son. Hearing this, Chung Lee asks Mojo, sir, how can he be the chairman's son? He is united with JJ. Mojo says, yes, you are right, but it is the truth. Therefore, we have to be careful. Then both go to the chairman's office where Chung Lee tells how JJ is buying Dodo Group's shares and politician Neil is also supporting him. In the next scene, JJ, Andrew, and a bodyguard go to the chairman's house. Reaching home, the chairman tells Andrew to sit with him and have dinner. The chairman says to everyone, he is my son. Hearing this, the chairman's wife's eyes turn red. In anger, she speaks ill of Andrew and says, you do not have the status to step into this house. Get out. The chairman says, if anyone has to go out, you go. He will not go anywhere. In the next scene, JJ's secret office is shown where the planning of falling Dodo Group's shares is going on. JJ says, in a few days, I am going to get 100 million and then I will buy all the shares. He sends Chung Lee to meet Neil where Victor has come. Weapons of Victor's company had blasted in, which soldiers died. To hide this fact, money is given to the press. Neil gets a large amount and JJ is going to buy shares with that money. Chung Lee, knowing all this, tells the chairman. The chairman says, we will get the link of Neil and Victor published in the press. Mojo tells the press owners to print it on the front page with a headline. The next day, the bodyguard comes and shows the newspaper, which contains the news of Victor's weapons blast and Neil's involvement. Both Neil and Victor burst out at JJ. There, Nathan's goons come to beat Yeon but run away on seeing Andrew. Andrew, in a state of intoxication, falls on Yeon. Yeon makes him Shung leap on the bed in her house and Shung leaps on the sofa herself. At midnight, when his intoxication wears off, he is startled. How did I come here? Seeing Yeon Shung leaping on the sofa, he picks her up, lays her on the bed, and leaves from there. In the next scene, JJ says to Chung Lee, we will have to make 30 fake accounts. Chung Lee keeps this thing in mind. Then he says to Penny, if we replace their 30 accounts with our fake accounts, then the money will come directly into our accounts, and in this way, we can snatch all the shares and money from JJ's hands. Then JJ's bodyguard says to him in front of Chung Lee, sir, a plan is being made to remove Chung Lee's parents' memorial from that place. JJ says, fine, we will not get the contract renewed. Chung Lee is shocked. Andrew asks, who is Chung Lee? JJ says, Chung Lee was a psycho who finished off his own parents. Chung Lee gets very angry at JJ. He stands up and says, I have to go to the chairman. Then he drives straight toward his parents' memorial. He reaches the graveyard straight away. His parents' ashes had been thrown into a pit. Then the fire of taking revenge on JJ, it gets even more intense inside Chung Lee. He decides not to spare JJ alive, but Penny stops him. Chung Lee says, JJ killed my parents again, and I will definitely take revenge. The next morning at breakfast, the chairman announces, Andrew is my son, and now He will be the head of SPD and vice chairman. Cindy is not happy at all with this decision. In a restaurant, Chung Lee and JJ make a plan to buy shares. JJ gets the pen drives of 30 fake accounts, and seeing an opportunity, Chung Lee changes them, due to which the money comes into Chung Lee's accounts instead of JJ's. Chung Lee then secretly pays Yeon's brother's hospital bill without telling her. In the next scene, a goon sent by Nathan attacks Yeon, but Chung Lee reaches on time, saves her, and takes her to his house. The next day, Andrew finds out in the office, Nathan sent someone to kill Yeon. Therefore, he meets Nathan in jail and gives a warning. If Yeon is harmed, the consequence will be bad. Then the assistant tells Nathan Andrew is being made the heir, due to which he goes crazy. On the other side, the chairman asks for a loan from the bank, but due to Dodo Group's market being down, they do not get the loan. Then Mojo tells Chung Lee the company is in danger. So Chung Lee transfers the 20 million extracted from JJ into Dodo Group's account. Then JJ goes to the secret office and sees that the accounts are empty and the bodyguard is missing. In compulsion, he asks Neil and Victor for help, but both refuse. JJ decides, I will buy shares with my 30 million. Chung Lee, at this very opportunity, makes a plan of an accident with Penny. But Penny stops the truck at the signal. But Chung Lee, in anger, crashes the car himself. The car gets badly damaged. Both Chung Lee and JJ are injured, and Chung Lee, upon regaining consciousness, is happy to see JJ in that state. Penny calls the ambulance and runs away, and the assistant takes JJ's money. Dodo Group buys the shares, due to which Chung Lee's plan becomes successful. Chung Lee regains consciousness in the hospital and is happy to see JJ's state. Upon regaining consciousness, JJ finds out from Kimmy, I have lost the battle of shares and my 30 million have disappeared. His suspicion goes again on the bodyguard. Then, through the words of Penny and her assistant, it's revealed, we also have a boss and our purpose is to make a vaccine from Chung Lee's blood. The chairman kicks JJ out of the company and Chung Lee also requests to be kicked out. A fight breaks out between the chairman and his wife on making Andrew the heir, and in the end, the chairman's wife makes a deal of giving her shares to Neil. In return, she asks to get her son Nathan released from jail. After this, the chairman's wife goes to jail and meets her son Nathan. Nathan cries and the mom consoles him, I will get you out of jail, and tells him to take revenge on Dodo Group's enemies and Andrew after coming out. On the other side, Andrew analyzes public opinion and sees people are supporting Yeon. Therefore, in a meeting, he gives a suggestion. By bringing Yeon back into the company, we can bring back Dodo Group's trust. The chairman likes the idea, and Andrew gets the responsibility. Andrew takes Yeon for lunch and asks directly whether you will join Dodo Group. Yeon refuses because the chairman's wife will never forgive her. Andrew leaves from there without eating anything. So Yeon gets the food packed and calls Chung Lee and tells him, I am bringing food for you. Then she feeds Chung Lee and her brother in the hospital. Seeing this, Andrew gets jealous. Then Andrew threatens his team with firing. So those people bring Yeon to the office to save their jobs. There, Yeon finds out the new vice chairman is Andrew. Andrew puts pressure. If you do not accept the job, the company will sink. Forced, Yeon says yes. On the other side, Penny is told the vaccine has been made and now Chung Lee is not needed. But Penny does not want to leave Chung Lee. In the hospital, JJ again has a dream in which he sees Chang himself as Chung Lee. His suspicion increases further. When Chung Lee meets Yeon's brother, he says while talking to himself, Chang himself is Chung Lee. Due to which Chung Lee understands, Yeon is the same girl I was looking for. Years ago, when Yeon used to work at his house when Chung Lee was blind, he had fallen in love with Yeon. Knowing the truth, Chung Lee gets emotional and calls her. Just then, JJ comes and hearing Yeon's name asks, is she your girlfriend? Chung Lee says, she was my ex. JJ explains to him, past and ex do not come back and one should move on. But Chung Lee starts feeling, perhaps JJ is suspecting me. On the other side, when Penny comes to the hospital, Chung Lee tells her Yeon. Penny thinks, he has found out even before I told him. Then Yeon calls Chung Lee and tells him, I am at the bus stop. Chung Lee offers to pick her up, but she refuses. Penny explains to Chung Lee, if the truth comes out, both of your lives could be in danger. Therefore, Chung Lee decides, for now, I will not tell the truth. Chung Lee sees Yeon in the bus and sits near her. She puts her head on Chung Lee's shoulder. Chang leap. A romantic moment is created between the two. In the next scene, JJ thinks, why does Yeon's name sound familiar to me? And he remembers the name of the girl working at Chung Lee's house was also Yeon. With this suspicion, he warns Neil, do not trust Chang until it is confirmed from Chung Lee's blood sample whether he is Chang Lee or Chang. Chung Lee hears this talk and tells Penny, my blood sample should be changed from the hospital. Penny's assistant changes the sample by doing a drama of a fire alarm. JJ gets the blood report and his suspicion is removed. Chang is not Chung Lee. In a hotel, Victor and Neil hold a secret meeting. Ro Shi, as a spy, records everything. evidence of low-quality tires is found. On the day of the hearing, Andrew releases the report and secretly recorded video in a press conference in which Neil and Victor's conspiracy is exposed. Neil gets trapped in front of everyone. Meanwhile, Chung-Li finds out JJ's bodyguard has run away. He runs toward the hospital. In the hospital, JJ is shocked to see Andrew's press meeting on TV. Chung-Li, seeing an opportunity, tells him Andrew himself is the traitor. JJ starts laughing at himself. Then he sits down holding his head. Chung-Li calls the doctor. On the other side, Andrew is appreciated in the press, and the chairman also comes and praises Andrew and confirms in public, Andrew is my son. Kimmy gets JJ's brain scan done. Then the report comes. The brain is fine, but JJ has suffered a deep trauma. Chung-Li and Penny come out of the hotel. Chung-Li feels someone is following. JJ's bodyguard was following him. On the other side, Yan is ready for an ad shoot and promotes Dodo Group's products. Andrew buys dresses and shoes for her. The chairman meets Nathan. Nathan expresses his mistake and fear and asks for forgiveness. And the chairman gets emotional. A protest starts against Victor and Neil. Neil tells the press, I got trapped in this scandal because of JJ, and resigns from his post. Andrew works day and night for Dodo Group. Due to stress, blood comes out of his nose. Yan scolds him and tells him to rest. In the next scene, Chung-Li brings a caretaker for JJ, but in reality, JJ is not insane. He is only acting. In a flashback, it is shown that the bodyguard had come to meet JJ in the hospital after running away. He had told him about Chung-Li. He was the one who kidnapped me. Then it is confirmed to JJ, Chang is actually Chung-Li. He gets his blood test done again, which confirms that Chung-Li is Chang. Then, JJ and Andrew together make a plan against Chung-Li. They set cameras in Penny's house so that it can be found out what is going on between Penny and Chung-Li. Then JJ asks Andrew for help, but he refuses. I will not do anything against my dad. So JJ makes him listen to his audio. In that recording, Andrew confesses, I have killed my stepfather. JJ warns him, I can expose you in the media. Then your dad will leave you. Andrew is forced to agree. In the next scene, Chung-Li meets JJ, who is in a separate room of the hospital. Chung-Li says, Uncle, I am Chung-Li. How are you? I have taken an oath to make you suffer and kill you. Hearing this, JJ catches his throat. Doctors and nurses come and give an injection, and JJ becomes unconscious. Before becoming unconscious, JJ says, this time you will not survive. On the other side, Andrew is watching everything through a hidden camera. Penny's assistant says to Chung-Li, now we will not help Chung-Li. The vaccine has been made. Chung-Li says, no problem. I will do it myself. Quarrels occur between Penny and the assistant. The assistant says, you are in love with Chung-Li. If the boss finds out, he will kill you. In the next scene, Chung-Li gets a call from Yeon. She comes to his house and cooks food. Then, both have dinner together. Chung-Li asks her, did you ever have a crush on anyone? So, she says, yes, there was a boy who was very rich and arrogant, but I liked him very much. Chung-Li understands that she is talking about him. Therefore, he smiles. There, seeing Yeon on the camera, Andrew gets jealous, calls Yeon, and calls her to the office. The next day, Yeon's performance in the shooting is good. The chairman's wife comes and speaks things to her, so Andrew protects her, so she slaps Andrew. Due to which, Andrew gets even more angry and says, you will not say anything about Yeon. So she is about to slap him again in anger. But Yeon, catching her hand, says, whatever you have to say it directly to me. A meeting is held in Dodo Group. It is discussed about the business potential of the vaccine. So the chairman gives the job of finding David to Cindy and Chang. In the next scene, David is in a hotel. So Penny comes and asks him for the formula. David says, I had burnt all the documents of the formula. Now the formula is only in the mind, and gets busy with the game again. Chung-Li says to Penny, do not take tension. I am also here for the formula. The bodyguard secretly takes a photo. On the other side, Chung-Li's team is watching David, who is playing the piano. Cindy offers the Dodo Group contract. Just then, Andrew also gives his contract. David says, 2 contracts from the same company. I will read both. David reads Andrew's contract first but does not like it. Then he sees Chung-Li's contract, which contains blank pages and a pen. Then he decides that he will deal with Chung-Li. During beer, Chung-Li sees music notes which look strange. David snatches the notes in anger. Andrew secretly sends the photo of Penny and Chung-Li to David and incites him. Therefore, David postpones the deal. Chung-Li tells Penny, the formula is perhaps hidden in the music notes. The bodyguard hears everything and tells Andrew, a plan is made to make Chang unconscious, steal Chung-Li's fingerprints, and attack David, and trap Chung-Li. The bodyguard hits a spanner on David's head and leaves Chung-Li in his room. On the other side, Yan finds out from her brother, Chang is Chung-Li. She gets panicked and calls Chung-Li, but he is unconscious. In the morning, seeing David injured, the guards catch Chung-Li. Chung-Li says, I have not done anything. but the guards suspect Chung Lee. Chung Lee says, "Sir, please tell them I did not hit you." David tries to say something, but just then, he dies, due to which the police are taking Chung Lee after arresting him. Just then, Yan comes there and asks, "Why has the police arrested Chang?" Andrew says, "He has committed a murder." Yan says, "He cannot be a murderer, I know." Andrew then takes the formula from JJ. JJ calls Neil, "The formula and the copy are with me. Chang has been trapped in the murder case." Neil is happy. The value of the vaccine formula will be in billions. Then, in the interrogation room, the officer asks, "Why did you kill David? Where's the formula?" Chung Lee says, "I did not do it. Check the CCTV." The officer says, "You had deleted the footage." JJ meets Nathan in jail. Nathan is angry. JJ explains, "Chung Lee has trapped you in all this. He has come to take revenge for his parents." On the other side, Penny and the assistant are in front of the boss. The boss asks, "What happened to the formula?" Penny says, "A false accusation has been put on Chung Lee. I will bring it." The boss says, "I will take the formula myself." Chung Lee picks up a paper in jail. There is a message from Penny. "Be careful in jail. There is the boss's man." Nathan asks, "Is there a formula or not?" Chung Lee says, "Shut up, otherwise I will take your life." At night, Nathan and the gang beat Chung Lee. Chung Lee does not defend himself. The next day, Penny tells Yan, Chung Lee is innocent. JJ and Andrew have trapped him. Yan says, "I can do anything for Chung Lee." So Penny says, "The formula is with JJ or Andrew. By taking it out, you can save Chung Lee." At night, Yan enters Andrew's cabin and looks for the formula everywhere. Andrew gets sad seeing all this. On the other side, Roshi's companion tells her, Chung Lee has to be kidnapped. Roshi says, "It will not be with Chung Lee." Roshi's companion works for Penny's boss. The boss says, "I want the formula. Even if life has to be taken, take it." On the other side, the chairman's wife replaces the chairman's medicines, which he takes daily, with other medicines. Her assistant says, "By taking it daily, the chairman's health will gradually deteriorate." In the next scene, the chairman, while eating food with Andrew in a normal cafe, talks about his mommy. So Andrew gets emotional. He used to think the chairman kicked his mom out of the company, but in reality, his wife had kicked his mom out. In the next scene, the chairman's wife secretly arranges a shareholders meeting. A plan is made to remove Andrew from the post of vice chairman. Everyone there agrees. In jail, everyone gets some mixed food due to which everyone's health deteriorates, so everyone is taken to the doctor. There, the doctor gives separate medicine to Chung Lee. Roshi's companion tells her, Chung Lee has to be kidnapped and an injection has to be given. Otherwise, the heartbeat will not be normal. This is an NIA order. The medicine has an effect on Chung Lee's body. He is sent to the hospital in an ambulance. Roshi is the driver. She runs away with Chung Lee from there, but while doing so, her mask comes off. Therefore, she appears in the CCTV camera. Then Roshi tortures Chung Lee. Chung Lee says, "The formula is with JJ. It is not with me." Then Penny's boss keeps Chung Lee tied up in a container. He applies 3 dangerous needles to him, of which the 3rd needle will take his life completely. The boss feels that by showing the fear of death, he will find out from Chung Lee where he has hidden the vaccine formula. Chung Lee speaks the truth. "I do not have that formula. It is with JJ." The boss is stunned. Who is this who is not speaking a word even after enduring so much pain? Then he leaves Chung Lee to die and goes away. On the other side, Yan gets a call from Penny, who calls her to a place and says, "Now there is only one way to save Chung Lee. You somehow find and bring that formula." Yan gets worried. "From where will I bring the vaccine formula?" Right there, Andrew is with JJ when his assistant calls and says, "I have found a scientist who can decode the coded formula." Andrew goes to meet that man whose name is Freddy. Seeing the blueprint of the formula, he says, "It will take me a month to decode this because it is a bit complicated." Andrew says, "Fine. Until then, you will stay in this hotel and will not go out from here. As soon as the work is complete, you will get a payment of billions of dollars." Then, coming into the parking lot, Andrew shows the blueprint to his assistant and says, "Keep a strict watch on Freddy and keep the blueprint safe." Gray asks, "If we give such an important blueprint to Freddy, will he not take a photo or make a photocopy?" Andrew's assistant says, "David has made the original blueprint on special paper. Therefore, no one can make a copy." Gray goes to the hospital and tells Yan neither a photo of the blueprint can be taken nor a copy can be made. An idea comes to John. Yan's brother has a photographic memory, meaning he can replicate a thing exactly on paper after seeing it for a few seconds. Right there, Nathan is released with special permission, comes home, and gets annoyed on seeing Andrew. The chairman says, "You have been released, but your punishment was for 6 years. Stay at home until then." Just then, the chairman's health deteriorates. Everyone gets panicked. The wife smiles and a doctor is called. Inside the container, Roshi unties his rope. Outside the container, the boss's goons are standing guard. A man takes water inside. Chung Lee beats him and makes him unconscious. Then he and Roshi run away from there. Roshi asks, "Why do you want to save me?" Chung Lee says, "You were doing your job. It was not your fault. I do not have the blueprint, yet people are after me. Therefore, I will find it out. But your companion Gerald is not sincere with you." Roshi does not believe it, so he tells her to call him and ask him to come there. Roshi calls Gerald and tells him, "A gang had caught us, but both of us escaped." Gerald is with Neil. Hearing this, Neil says, "It is a good opportunity to finish them off." He sends JJ with Gerald. Chung Lee and Roshi see these two together from above. So Roshi becomes sure that Chung Lee was saying the truth. Yeon and John are in the hospital. Chung Lee calls and says he is in danger from JJ. Yeon's brother makes the blueprint with his photographic memory. They send the photo to Chung Lee. Chung Lee calls Penny and says, "Tell the boss, if he wants the blueprint, he should promise to remove me from the hit list." JJ's bodyguard sees Yeon's brother in the hospital. Then, JJ comes there and gets a poison injection given to Yeon's brother. Yeon comes and understands, JJ has taken my brother's life. In the next scene, Yeon's brother's funeral is shown where JJ also comes. He knows Chung Lee will definitely meet Yeon, and at that very moment, I will also finish him off. Above, Chung Lee also has a copy of the blueprint, which JJ wants to destroy. But Yeon's blood boils on seeing JJ because she had seen him for the last time in the hospital with her brother. She says to JJ, "When my brother's autopsy report comes, it will be known who killed him." Then Andrew asks JJ, "Did you really kill Yeon's brother?" JJ twists the talk and asks, "Do you love her? So remove her from your mind." Andrew is unable to tolerate it. He shouts, "Our relationship is only of business. Do not interfere in my personal life." Saying this, he leaves in anger. Now JJ decides he too will have to be disposed of somewhere. On the other side, Chung Lee calls Nathan and says, "You come and meet me at this place." Nathan gets excited. Nathan reaches the place told by Chung Lee. Roshi says, "That crazy man has come. You also come." Chung Lee comes and shows the photo of the blueprint on the mobile and says, "Its original is with JJ, who is making a plan with Andrew to kick you out of Dodo Group. JJ himself has killed Yeon's brother. If you want to stay in Dodo Group and want the blueprint, you will have to bring evidence against JJ. Otherwise, forget the blueprint." In the next scene, Chung Lee and the boss meet at a place. So, according to the plan of Penny and her assistant, the assistant stands aiming a gun at the boss. Then Chung Lee had noticed by seeing the gun's laser on the boss's dress that something was going to happen here. Then Chung Lee comes straight into the path of the bullet, due to which the bullet hits the side of Chung Lee's head and passes through, and Chung Lee becomes unconscious. Everyone, getting panicked, takes Chung Lee toward the car. So Penny shoots the assistant. Penny calls the boss and tells him, "I have killed my assistant. He tried to shoot you. Chung Lee also got shot because of him." Then the boss, while taking Chung Lee in the car, calls the city's best doctor to the house and tells the driver, "Spread this news in the media that Chung Lee is dead." Because the bullet had passed from the side of the head, Chung Lee is alive, but the doctor tells them Chung Lee has gone into a coma. News comes on TV. The car in which Chung Lee and Roshi were had an accident and both died by burning. Yeon is shattered on hearing this, while JJ is very happy. In the next scene, JJ makes Nathan his partner. Hearing this in the meeting, Andrew gets a big shock. The chairman becomes unconscious. So, his wife takes the power into her hands and Andrew is kicked out. Mojo is also kicked out after putting false accusations. 1 year later, Andrew has become the CEO of Dodo Group. Yeon becomes a lawyer, but Chung Lee is still in a coma. Finally, one day when Roshi is taking care of him, suddenly Chung Lee says, "Close the curtains, the light is hitting the eyes." Roshi is shocked, and Chung Lee opens his eyes. In the next scene, Chung Lee has regained consciousness, but old things keep coming into his mind repeatedly, due to which his head hurts a lot and he starts suffering. Penny tells this thing to the boss and says, "Now we have to take great care of Chung Lee." The boss also says, "We should call that famous hypnotist. He can treat him." On the other side, Neil announces in a press meet, "A year ago my name was spoiled in the defense industry scam. Now, as a comeback, I will stand my son-in-law, JJ, in the upcoming mayoral election." Yeon, seeing this press meet on TV, decides, "I will definitely take revenge on JJ." In the next scene, JJ goes to give an interview on a show. So he is shocked to see Yeon there. Yeon asks the very first question about the 12-year-old hospital murder case. JJ does not expect it at all and tries to twist the talk. After the interview, JJ says to her, "Do you want to take revenge for your brother's death by asking all this?" Yeon says, "You will have to give the answer." In China, Penny meets the hypnotist, and after hypnotizing Chung Lee, the memories of Yeon are erased from his mind. In Dodo Group, Yeon decides to apply for the post of lawyer. Right there, after 3 days, Chung Lee regains consciousness. The boss, due to his saving his life, makes Chung Lee his son and makes him the next leader of his organization. Chung Lee takes martial arts training with Roshi, so the boss tells Chung Lee the plan of going to Korea and of partnering with Dodo Group and taking revenge. Chung Lee comes into the Dodo Group's hotel, and Cindy plans to woo him without knowing that he is Chung-Li. In the election campaign, JJ is telling lies. Just then, Chung-Li makes an entry. JJ and Neil are shocked, and Chung-Li gestures, "I have come to finish you." JJ was completely panicked on seeing Chung-Li alive again. Then JJ thinks, Chung-Li has come back and who knows what trouble he will create. But Neil says, "The whole of Korea is in our control. Chung-Li alone cannot do anything." Right there, Roshi says to Chung-Li, "I suspect Penny." But Chung-Li says, "Never suspect Penny." Still, Roshi makes a copy of her phone so that it can be known whether JJ calls or not. On the other side, Mojo comes to the Dodo Group Hotel at Penny's call. Everyone respects him. Then Chung-Li comes and asks Mojo to join the shipping project and gives a check for $3 million. Mojo starts crying. Penny and Roshi tell Gray, Chung-Li was hit by a bullet in the head and the memories of Yeon give him lethal pain. Therefore, do not take her name in front of him. In the next scene, Yeon is in a restaurant. Nathan comes and talks about working together against JJ. At night, he calls her to a bar. There, Andrew also sees her. Later, Andrew appoints Yeon as a legal advisor of Dodo Group. Chung-Li, seeing Yeon on TV, says, the plan will be executed through her. Mojo meets Yeon and tells her something. Yeon then calls Kimmy for a live interview. Kimmy praises the party. Gray calls and mentions the affair of JJ and Kimmy. Photos are shown live, due to which JJ's name gets spoiled. Yeon asks Kimmy in the TV show, "Is it true that you had an affair with JJ when his first wife was alive?" Kimmy screams, "No, all this is a lie." Saying this, she leaves the show. On the other side, the chairman's wife meets Andrew and says, the shipping project should go only to Dodo Group. Andrew says he will finalize that deal so that his papa can become the chairman again. But after Andrew leaves, the chairman's wife says to Nathan, this contract should not go to Andrew at any cost. Chung-Li's team checks the shipping contracts, and a plan is made to meet Cindy. Cindy is in the gym when she finds out Chung-Li wants to meet her. She gets emotional after meeting Chung-Li. Right there, Chung-Li becomes Gerard's driver and kidnaps him. So Roshi asks Gerard to tell the truth at gunpoint. Then, hearing his truth that he was working with JJ, Roshi gets very sad. Then she goes back into the NIA. Right there, Andrew and Yeon work in the same room. Andrew takes care of her. JJ finds out, so he beats Andrew and threatens him. Seeing this, Yeon gets emotional for Andrew. Yeon realizes how much Andrew cares for me. She lovingly hugs Andrew, and Andrew also starts crying emotionally. Chung-Li sees all this, and on seeing Yeon, he starts remembering old memories, due to which he has a lot of pain in his head. Side, Yeon comforts Andrew, and Andrew feels very good that she is with him. The next day, it is shown that only Andrew and Yeon are in the room. Andrew says, the others must have gone out to eat food. Yeon says, when there was a secret discussion, how did everyone go out? Andrew says, the bidding rate has not been fixed yet, therefore there is no tension. Come on, let's eat food outside. Yeon says she is not hungry, but Andrew is very hungry and takes her to a distant restaurant. There, Andrew eats heartily and Yeon eats less. Then she tells him the truth. I had come to Dodo Group to work against Andrew. Andrew says emotionally, whether you work for me or against me, it does not matter to me. Just stay near me. That is why I made you the legal advisor. Saying this, he leaves and Yeon gets confused. The chairman tries his best to improve his health. PA makes food which is not good. The chairman says he misses his wife's cooking. Just then, the wife comes and the chairman acts and praises the PA's food. Then he talks about Andrew's marriage. On this, the wife gets furious and Nathan also feels bad. He decides, I will win the shipping contract at any cost. Right there, Yeon prepares for bidding with Andrew's team. In lunch, there is a tablet only in Yeon's bowl. In the bathroom, there is a note inside the tablet in which Nathan writes, if the bidding rate is found out, give a message to the room service person. There, Penny teaches JJ politics. So, JJ goes to such an area where people are against him. There, he fights with some people for poor people who had come to beat those poor people. The police catch him, but the public considers him a hero. Penny and Mojo decide this plan of JJ also has to be made a flop. But by JJ's doing so, Neil understands JJ is doing all this to win the heart of the public. Chung-Li inspects the bidding place. Just then, Yeon tells Nathan the bidding amount of Andrew through a secret phone, but adds $40 to it. Nathan gets an amount $20 less than that amount quoted. On the day of bidding, Mojo announces, Chung-Li sees everything from the CCTV. Nathan tells Andrew, Yeon told everything. Then, both files are almost the same, but the file with $20 less is selected and Dodo Group wins the contract. Nathan threatens Yeon in anger. Chung-Li sees Yeon's necklace in the CCTV and feels, I have seen this before too. Then, while remembering this, his head hurts. Just then, someone opens the door. Actually, Cindy has come. But due to head pain, Chung-Li falls down. Cindy runs and says, Cheng Li, what has happened to you? Gray calls Mojo. Then a doctor is called who checks Cheng Li. Cindy starts crying and says, until Cheng Li gets well, I will not go anywhere. I will stay near him. Meanwhile, Mojo gets a call from Penny. Penny tells him, someone has attacked Kimmy, and I suspect that JJ himself must have got all this done to win people's sympathy. JJ wants to take advantage of this and says to the doctor, tell the media that Kimmy is very serious and she needs surgery. He says to her, by your doing so, people will pity you and our party and will vote for me. You just act of becoming unconscious. JJ then does Oscar-level acting in front of the media. That stick should have hit me. When I started working for people, some goons started hating me, and to take revenge, they attacked Kimmy, but no matter what happens, I will keep fighting for people. Neil gets worried, but Gerard tells him, nothing has happened to Kimmy. She has just got a little injury. JJ is doing drama to win the election. On the other side, Cindy, while waiting for Cheng Li to regain consciousness, says, you are very lucky because I do not care so much for anyone as I do for you. While talking, she falls as Cheng Li while clinging to Cheng Li. After some time, Cheng Li regains consciousness. He does not disturb Cindy, rather he makes her Cheng leap on the bed and comes out. Mojo asks, are you fine? Cheng Li says, yes. Yesterday, after seeing that lawyer on CCTV, I remembered something from her dollar. I don't know what, but it feels there is some connection between her and me. Call her here. I want to talk. Mojo is shocked but calls Yan. The number is unreachable. Cheng Li says, then let's go to her house. There, Yeon, Andrew, John, and the team are celebrating the joy of winning the contract. Everyone praises Yeon. John asks Andrew, you like Yeon, don't you? And Andrew agrees. John leaves the two alone. Yeon also says, you become my partner. Both together will take revenge on JJ. Andrew says, fine, I will give you all of JJ's files. Yeon is happy. Andrew is about to hold her hand but stops. Below, Cheng Li and Mojo are waiting. Andrew catches Yeon's hand and says, now we are partners. Seeing this, Cheng Li says, it feels she is not the one with whom I would have been in love. On the other side, Nathan cries after drinking alcohol, Gina betrayed me. His mom says, after talking to the board, Nathan will sign the contract instead of Andrew. Andrew finds out Nathan will sign the contract. He leaves in anger. In the meeting room, Andrew and Nathan start fighting. Cindy says, I will sign the contract. Cheng Li sees everything from the CCTV and chooses Andrew's name. Andrew meets Cheng Li. He is shocked. He is alive. The contract is signed. Andrew finds out from Gray. Cheng Li does not remember Yan. In the next scene, Yan sees Cheng Li on the road and follows him. Due to standing in the rain for a long time, she becomes unconscious. Just then, Cheng Li comes and picks her up. When Cheng Li picks her up, she sees Cheng Li's face for a moment. Then, Cheng Li immediately takes her to the hospital. On the other side, Andrew and John are also looking for Yan. Just then, a call comes to Andrew from Yan's number. He asks, where are you? But Cheng Li is on the phone and tells him, this girl was lying unconscious on the road. You come to the hospital. Reaching the hospital, it is found out Yan has a high fever and she is in a deep Cheng leap. She will be fine by tomorrow. John says, Andrew only will take care of her. In the morning, when Yan wakes up, Andrew is Cheng leaping there, holding her hand. Yan remembers everything of last night, seeing Cheng Li and becoming unconscious in the rain. Andrew wakes up, so she asks, who brought me here? Andrew says, someone had informed me after reaching you to the hospital. John comes and says, you had to go for a meeting. I stay near her. Andrew leaves. Yan says, I know Cheng Li brought me here, but Mojo makes fun of it. Cheng Li is dead. Outside, Andrew hears everything and understands Yan has suspected Cheng Li's being alive. On the other side, the chairman's wife again puts dangerous tablets. Nathan is in tension. His mom says, you only will become the next chairman. Just have to get married. But Nathan only thinks about Yeon. Andrew brings Yeon to the chairman's house. The chairman's health is bad, but he hides it. Yeon makes Paju in the kitchen and feeds him, which everyone likes. The chairman's wife and Nathan are also shocked after tasting it. Nathan gives her a proposal of marriage directly, but Yeon refuses and says she loves someone else. On the other side, Penny tells JJ the plan of buying independent candidates through gifts. A game of bribery starts through a flower vase. The candidate refuses at first, but later gradually gets trapped. Just then, Yan and Cheng Li bump into each other in a coffee shop. Yan says in shock, I knew you were alive, and hugs him. Cheng Li, being confused, asks, how do you know my name? Yan also gets confused. Why is he asking like this? Yan asks, don't you recognize me? I am Yan. Just after hearing this, Cheng Li starts remembering everything, but as soon as he remembers everything, his head starts hurting. Meanwhile, Mojo comes and they immediately take Cheng Li to the hospital. There, Gray tells Yan, there is a bullet in Chung Lee's head, which the doctors have not been able to take out. Because of this, he has forgotten everything about you, and whenever he remembers the memories, he has a very high pain. Yeon asks, why didn't you tell before, and can the bullet not be taken out by surgery? Gray says, if the bullet is taken out, his life could be in danger. Hearing this, she gets very worried. On the other side, JJ is having a drink with Penny because he has won over the independent candidate through Penny's idea. Then the candidate calls and says, I have got the second flower vase, now what to do? JJ says, just withdraw your nomination and tell the press that you are joining my party. The candidate asks about the money. So JJ says, after the press meet, you will get 2.5 million. Then when JJ comes home in the room, Kimmy takes off his coat. So there is a mark of lipstick on the shirt, seeing which she is shocked. On the other side, the hypnotist tells Yeon, if her memories are not completely erased, Chung Lee's life is in danger. Yeon says, if Chung Lee's life can be saved, then erase all my memories. Yeon, while crying, goes to Chung Lee and says, do not remember me, I love you very much, and leaves after kissing him. The next day, Andrew gives JJ's files to Yeon and says, these will be useful in taking revenge on him. On the other side, the independent candidate announces in a press conference he is joining JJ's party. Mojo says, Yeon only will make the evidence public. Mojo calls her and says, Chung Lee wants to meet you. She goes to meet. Chung Lee says casually, you are the same lawyer who was against JJ, aren't you? He shakes hands with her. In a restaurant, the chairman again falls down. In the hospital, Andrew gets suspicious and tells them to retest the medicines. Chung Lee tells Yeon, evidence has been found against JJ. JJ's bodyguard, seeing Yeon with Chung Lee, tells JJ. JJ, in anger, gives the order to get Yeon killed. In the parking lot, the bodyguard kidnaps Yeon. Andrew sees Yeon's car at the signal and understands. She is in danger. He follows her. On the other side, JJ is drinking a lot. Then, Penny opens the door when suddenly JJ gets a call from the bodyguard who tells him, Yeon has been kidnapped. JJ says, throw her from a big bridge in such a way as if she committed suicide because people keep committing suicide there even before and no one will suspect. Hearing this, Penny gets panicked and immediately calls Mojo. Mojo tells this thing to Chung Lee, and Chung Lee is shocked and leaves toward the bridge to save Yeon in any way. Here, Andrew reaches near the bridge after Yeon's car. There, the bodyguard stops the car, picks up Yeon, and throws her from the bridge down into the water. Andrew jumps into the water to save Yeon. She has drowned, but Andrew somehow takes her out. Meanwhile, Chung Lee and Mojo also reach the bridge. Below, Andrew takes out water from her lungs and stomach and gives her oxygen. He says while crying, please do not leave me. Finally, Yeon opens her eyes and Andrew hugs her. Chung Lee says, their cottage is nearby, and everyone goes there. There, Yeon says, JJ must be thinking I am dead. Therefore, the world should also feel the same. I will remain hidden until the election, and at the right time, I will expose JJ's reality. Chung Lee gives her the suggestion of going to China. Andrew also says, going to China is better. So, Yeon agrees. There, the bodyguard brings Yeon's bag for JJ, which contains the proof of all of JJ's dirty deeds. JJ says Andrew is going too far ahead, but after the election, he will finish him and his family both. When Yeon is Cheng leaping, Andrew leaves a note near her. He will miss her a lot, but her safety is more important. JJ wins the election, but on the day of the oath ceremony, Chung Lee plays audio recordings in public, and JJ's bribery and crimes get exposed. Then he faces Chung Lee. Chung Lee says, you will go to jail. Meanwhile, the police come and arrest JJ because he had joined an independent candidate in his party by giving a bribe against the rules of the election commission. The police take JJ in jail. JJ thinks, who betrayed him, and also suspects Penny. JJ tells the bodyguard to follow Penny. Then Penny meets Mojo, and Mojo gives her a tracking bracelet. Gerard secretly takes their photos and tells Neil Penny herself is the spy. JJ tells his lawyer Chung Lee and Yeon should be trapped in false cases. The next day, an income tax raid occurs at Yeon's office and Chung Lee's hotel. Chung Lee escapes through his powerful contacts. In jail, Neil shows JJ the proof Penny was meeting Mojo. Then JJ intentionally tells Penny he will get the independent candidate killed by mixing poison in the insulin injection. Penny tells this thing to Mojo and Chung Lee, and Yeon make a plan. Right there, Neil, on the pretext of the hospital, takes Penny and gets her locked up so that she cannot give testimony in the court. In jail, the man coming with the poison injection is caught and the plan fails. JJ is happy because he had intentionally got the man caught. Mojo calls Penny because her testimony can make the case even stronger. But the call does not connect. Neil has kept her locked in a distant hospital. Penny wants to turn on the tracker bracelet that Mojo had given her, but her hands were tied so tightly that she is unable to do anything. In the court's waiting room, the independent candidate has come. Chung Lee and Yeon meet him and say, if you give testimony in our favor in the court, we will give money to your family. He says, JJ had also given me the same offer. Chung Lee talks in a slightly threatening tone. John stops him and says to him, just tell the truth. As soon as he comes out, JJ's call comes. He threatens him. If you cut the call, the consequence will be bad. Then the hearing starts, and Yeon asks JJ whether he had given a bribe to win the election. JJ denies the accusation and turns the talk toward personal revenge. The judge warns both. Yeon asks that candidate whether he got a bribe, and he denies it. In a flashback, it is shown that JJ had threatened him by taking his family hostage. Therefore, he lies in the court. The judge keeps the next hearing after 4 days. Outside, JJ taunts Yeon. Yeon says to Mojo, it is necessary to find Penny before the next hearing. Right there, the chairman starts getting a bit better from his real medicines, and Andrew finds out the medicines were changed by his stepmother. In the next scene, Neil turns on the phone to check about Penny, due to which Yeon's team gets the signal and Penny's location is tracked. A plan is made to bring Penny to court by helicopter. Yeon keeps delaying the court proceedings. In the hospital, Penny is rescued. Then, Chung Lee enters the court with Penny. On seeing Penny, JJ is stunned. Chung Lee says, the last witness is Penny, whom JJ had kidnapped and kept locked up. It can also be verified from the police. JJ starts shouting. Penny tells JJ had given $2.5 million to the independent candidate through her art gallery. She used to work with JJ, but JJ made her a captive. Yeon also tells JJ had tried to kill her. JJ says there is no evidence. Andrew stands up and says he has the proof. He had recorded JJ's man in the dashboard camera who was going to kill Yeon. Seeing the proof, the judge sentences JJ to 5 years in jail. Then later, Chung Lee says to Mojo, he does not have full trust in Andrew, and his next targets will be Nathan and Andrew. The chairman's wife and Nathan go to Neil and make a deal. In exchange for JJ's B-word pharma shares, Dodo Group Hotel should be named after them. Nathan's assistant hears all this and tells Andrew. In jail, Andrew blackmails JJ by showing him the B-word company's top secret file. JJ understands his real enemy was Andrew. Andrew reveals his master plan. He emotionally manipulated Yeon. Chung Lee has a deal of shares with Nathan in which Chung Lee gets 5 lakh shares of Dodo Group. The chairman discusses the property and medicines case with Yeon. Yeon says, what your wife has done can be shown in the court to take all the property from them. The chairman becomes happy. In the next scene, Chung Lee brings pizza for JJ in jail. Chung Lee asks, oh, uncle, how did you get this injury on your head? Who had the courage here to break my uncle's head? JJ starts eating pizza comfortably. Chung Lee says, I will sink your lovely company, B-word. JJ says, I will come out in a short while and then I will do such a bad state of you that you cannot imagine. Chung Lee teases him more, due to which JJ, in anger, goes back into his cell and starts hitting punches on the wall in tension and says, all this has happened because of Andrew. I will kill him first. The next day, Nathan and the chairman's wife are ready for the shareholders' meeting because today is the final meeting in which it will be decided by voting who will be the next chairman. At breakfast time, she asks the chairman, there is no need for you to come to the shareholders' meeting. You take a rest here. The chairman says, today, I see in the meeting what state I do of you. Later, the chairman asks Andrew whether he showed the wife's video to anyone. Andrew says, I showed it only to some shareholders to get votes. The chairman gives a warning. The video should not be leaked. In the office, the chairman's wife and Nathan taunt Andrew. In anger, Andrew sends that video to Nathan in which his mom is seen changing the medicines. Nathan is shocked. Nathan finds out Andrew has shown the video to some secret shareholders. Chung Lee has also come at the meeting venue. The meeting starts. The chairman's wife gives a speech and tells a lie. The chairman is a victim of dementia. Just then, it is announced. The chairman is coming. He comes in a wheelchair, but then stands up himself, gives a powerful speech, and tells how he saved the company and built the empire. Shareholders stand up in his support. The doctor also confirms the chairman does not have dementia. Voting occurs and the chairman is elected again. The chairman's wife becomes unconscious. Mojo says to Chung Lee, what a fantastic scene it was. In jail, JJ gets angry after seeing the newspaper and makes a plan to cause a fight between Andrew and Chung Lee. He talks to Neil about the secret locker and documents, but Neil wants a divorce for his daughter. Therefore, he says to JJ, I will do your work, but you will also have to listen to one thing of mine. JJ agrees. Andrew and Chung Lee have a business meeting where Chung Lee puts tough conditions. Andrew is forced to agree. Chung-Lee says to Mojo, do not let Andrew get a loan from any bank. The chairman's wife's and Nathan's cards are suspended, and they are also unable to book a hotel. Neil shows the chairman the proof of B-word scams and blackmails him and asks for property. The chairman, to save the image, agrees. Here, Chung-Lee gets an audio in which Andrew is talking with JJ. Let's get the scientist killed and put the blame on Chung-Lee. Chung-Lee says, now I've got another reason for hatred. JJ incites Andrew against Chung-Lee, and Andrew also, in anger, calls Chung-Lee to meet. Chung-Lee is looking at the picture of himself and Yan placed in the dodo group. Just then, Andrew comes, snatches the photo, and says, Yan and I are going to get married. Do not come in between. Then they sit at a place and talk. Chung-Lee had called Yan and told her to come to the meeting because you are the legal advisor of Dodo Group. Therefore, it is necessary for you to be in this meeting. He asks Yan, do you know that Andrew has bought JJ's B-word company? Andrew gets panicked. Chung-Lee says, if you have bought JJ's B-word company, then there must be some reason behind it, and I know that JJ cannot give B-word company to anyone. Surely this is some planning of Andrew. Yan starts looking at Andrew. So, Andrew says, I have not committed any treachery. Everything has happened legally. Will you give me the patent for the MK2 vaccine? Chung-Lee flatly refuses. No, I cannot give it. Andrew says, think about it. Chung-Lee says, I am not afraid of Dodo Group. I will not give the patent. After the meeting, Yan asks Andrew, why didn't you tell me about buying B-word? Andrew immediately tells a lie. Oh, I bought B-word for you. We have to take revenge on JJ. Therefore, his secret documents have to be accessed. That is why I bought his company. Yeon feels perhaps he is telling the truth. Chung-Lee asks Gray, did I know Yeon from before? Gray tells, a false case of scientist Freddy's murder was put on you, so to save you, Gina had put in all her efforts. Mojo says, Yeon's brother's death also happened because of this. Chung-Lee is shocked. On the other side, the chairman says to Andrew, I have heard that you are going to marry Yeon. She is a good girl, but there is also family and status. I will look for a girl from a big house for you. In the next scene, Andrew asks Yeon, have you thought about marriage? Yeon says, I am not worthy of you. But Andrew speaks in between. My father has agreed to the marriage. He also says, I am the next chairman of Dodo Group. Therefore, you will support me. Yeon starts thinking. Official announcement of the production of MK2 vaccine is made, due to which shares of Dodo Group Pharma start falling. The chairman asks Andrew, how will he handle this situation? Andrew says, they will use paid capitalism. Cindy does not understand, so she messages Chung-Lee. Chung-Lee tells her, do not allow paid capitalism in Dodo Group Hotel. Otherwise, the value of joint shares will fall. Cindy refuses in the meeting. Cindy says, I am going to marry Chung-Lee. Everyone is shocked. On the other side, the chairman's wife and Nathan are kicked out of the house. The chairman has dementia, but Andrew threatens the doctor and tells him to hide the truth. In the end, Nathan makes a deal with gangster Bobby to get Andrew killed and signs a contract. In the next scene, Chung-Lee asks Yeon, I know in SPD we both were very close, but now why do you become so formal with me? Yeon says, I am associated with you only for JJ's case. The case will end, then you go your way, and I go mine. On the other side, Andrew's assistant brings a secret file of B-word and asks, are you really going to give this file to Yeon? He says, yes, and calls Yeon and calls her to a place, I will give you JJ's secret file. Yeon, being happy, goes to meet Andrew at that place. Andrew, reaching there, is waiting for Yeon. As soon as stomach, take the file and leave in their car. Yeon, getting panicked, goes to him and then takes him to the hospital. On the other side, Chung-Lee goes to Yeon's brother's memorial, where he sees the same dollar around his neck, which Chung-Lee himself was also wearing. Actually, when Yeon was convinced that all her memories were going to be erased from Chung-Lee's mind, she had put this dollar on Chung-Lee. But now Chung-Lee is shocked. How did this dollar come around my neck? He immediately calls Yeon. There, Bobby is looking at the B-word's secret file snatched from Andrew's hand. Meanwhile, seeing Nathan coming, he hides that file in the drawer. Nathan asks, is Andrew's work finished? Bobby says, we have injured him so much that he is lying in the hospital and will die soon. You don't worry. Your name will not come anywhere. Hearing this, Nathan becomes happy. Here, in the hospital, Andrew opens his eyes and says to Yeon, I could not provide the file I brought for you. I could not fulfill my promise. Yeon says, why are you talking like this? If something had happened to you, I would not have been able to forgive myself. I am not worried about the file at all. Saying this, she leaves. When Chung-Lee finds out about the attack on Andrew, he thinks, perhaps Andrew has got an attack done on himself so that he can get Yeon's sympathy. There, Bobby calls Andrew and asks, sir, you didn't get much injury, did you? Andrew says, I will send you money, but you burn that secret file right now. Chung Lee comes to see him in the hospital. So Andrew is not in the room, and the nurse tells them he has gone to the roof to get some air. On the roof, Andrew is with Yan. Yan asks, "Are you fine?" He asks emotionally, "Has your heart ever beaten for me?" Saying this, he suddenly kisses her. Exactly at this time, Chung Lee comes to the roof and sees all this, due to which his eyes also get moist. Chung Lee then leaves from there with a sad heart, but here, from Yan's eyes, Andrew finds out that she does not love him. He says, "Sorry, I kissed you. I have found out that in your heart there is only friendship for me, not love. And when you fall in love with me, do tell me." On the other side, Chung Lee asks Mojo, "What kind of relationship was there between me and Yan?" Mojo says, "Penny would know, but she is in China." He says, "I will go there." On the other side, Neil tells JJ, "I have arranged a lawyer for your bail." Then he asks for signs on the divorce papers. JJ says in anger, "Does Kimmy know?" Neil says, "I am going to fight the presidential election and I don't want people like Chung Lee to raise questions on my family. Therefore, I have to break the relationship with you. Later, I will fix everything." Forced, JJ signs. In China, Chung Lee asks Penny, "How close were Yan and I?" Penny, seeing the pendant on his neck, tells him, "This chain was given to you by Yan, and when you could not see, Gina used to take care of you. She had put her life in danger to save you from virus gas. Yan's father died from that infection." Penny tells him, "You two had also kissed, and Yan loved you very much." Right there, Neil gets the truth out of the doctor. The chairman has Alzheimer's and Andrew is hiding everything. Then, in a press conference, Neil announces he will fight the presidential election and has broken the relationship of his daughter with JJ. In the next scene, Mojo asks Chung Lee, "Do you really think Neil has broken ties with JJ?" Chung Lee says, "No, this is his election stunt. He will run the divorce case until the election, but after the election, he will make JJ and Kimmy meet again." On the other side, Kimmy is also shocked to see the divorce application signed by JJ. Then Chung Lee says in a meeting with Neil, "There will be a lot of money spent on the election campaign. So, as a big businessman, I will give you heavy funding. And when you become the president, you will have to give full support to my business." On the other side, JJ, after coming out of jail, is having a drink with Andrew. JJ says, "You did a good job by burning the file." Andrew says, "I have burnt the original, but I have the photocopy. If you did anything against me, I will make it public." Coming home, Kimmy asks JJ for forgiveness. So JJ says, "I will have to reach such a position where your father cannot separate me from you, and I need your help." Kimmy, trusting him blindly, hugs him. Right there, the doctor tells Andrew, the chairman has Alzheimer's, and there is a time of maximum 6 months. Andrew says to the assistant, "I want all the property. Arrange an artist for fake signs and voice." Then he says to Yeon, "Papa is a guest for only 6 months. After that, there will be no one of mine except you. Please agree to the marriage." Seeing tears in Andrew's eyes, Yeon gets quite sad, but gathering courage, she says, "You will find a girl better than me." Andrew says, "Think a little more and tell me." Yeon says, "Nothing will happen to your father." On the other side, Cindy is very worried because she had found out that Nathan had killed Chung Lee's parents. She goes to meet Nathan. Nathan is happy. Perhaps Cindy has come to give the property. But Cindy asks directly, "Did you kill Chung Lee's parents? I have found out everything." Nathan says, "Did Chung Lee tell you?" At that time, for the sake of the family, what had to be done was done. It is not my fault. Cindy says, "After committing such a big crime, you are making the excuse of family. You are a murderer, and you will definitely get punished." Saying this, she leaves. The next day, when Nathan comes to his house, the chairman does not recognize him. It is confirmed from the doctor it is a case of Alzheimer's. The chairman's wife, Kimmy, scolds Andrew and leaves. Andrew asks his assistant, "The artist is ready for the signed copy, isn't he?" Andrew and his assistant match the handwriting. It matches 90%. There, in the hospital, Andrew does emotional drama. Yan agrees to the engagement. The next day, Chung Lee goes to propose to Yan and tells his whole story. He has fallen in love with the same girl 3 times. Yan gets emotional but is unable to say anything because she had promised Andrew the engagement. She does not want to become a danger for Chung Lee's life by going close to him. She says, "Andrew has done a lot for me, and I have promised him marriage. Now I cannot back out." She then takes out her hand from between Chung Lee's hands. In the next scene, Chung Lee gets all those bonds due to which he can buy Dodo Group. Chung Lee then calls Andrew. So, he says arrogantly, "If you want to meet, come to my office." In a flashback, it is shown that when Andrew told JJ, majority bonds have gone into Chung Lee's hands, and now we will have to listen to his every word. JJ had said, "Don't worry, Chung Lee has 50% bonds. This means he has given a loan to Dodo Group. If we put 50% funds into the company from our side, his loan will have no value. Then Andrew asked, but from where will such a big amount come to us? Then JJ told, I have the money of set capital. It is only 200 million, but I can get almost 500 million loan by mortgaging those 200 million bonds with a friend of mine. So we will not need to listen to Cheng Li, but in return, you will have to cancel that agreement due to which you have become my partner in set capital. In present, Andrew is waiting for Cheng Li, and, along with him, as a legal advisor, there is also Yeon. Then Cheng Li's team comes there and asks Andrew to sign several documents. He tears the documents and says, I don't even need your bonds. Cheng Li says, oh, so JJ has again promised to help you. Hearing this, Andrew is shocked. What if Yeon finds out? Therefore, he tells her to leave from there. Cheng Li says to Mojo, trace all the transactions of JJ's documents, but Mojo says, this is very difficult because from which accounts and what transactions he does all this is very secret. Still, Cheng Li says, try it. On the other side, Yeon says to JJ's bodyguard, I am coming after meeting your mother. She thinks you are doing some good work. She does not know the truth. She has made this food herself for you. Eat it. But remember, I will not leave you without knowing the truth. Where is my brother's original autopsy report? Only you can tell this. The bodyguard gets emotional while eating the food made by the mother and later cries bitterly. On the other side, Nathan tells his mother, right there. John tells Andrew, your name has not been officially included in the chairman's family members. Now the chairman also has Alzheimer's. Therefore, you will have no share in the property. Hearing this, Andrew is shocked, but he has handwriting artist who is preparing a fake will in the chairman's handwriting in which it is written, my wife and daughter are against me. Therefore, I am not giving them my property. My heir of my entire property and companies will be my son, Andrew. There, Nathan and his mother say to Cindy, only you can take care of Papa. Do not let Andrew enter the house. But Cindy has understood their plans and says, I will take care of Papa myself. Then in the hospital, the chairman's condition worsens. The PA asks for reports, but the doctor refuses. Andrew says, the chairman will live for only 6 more months. Meanwhile, the chairman disappears and reaches his old memories to propose to his wife. Cindy gets emotional seeing this. On the other side, Cheng Li calls Penny from China and shows Kimmy the video of JJ and Penny, in which JJ kisses Penny. Penny tells Kimmy, Cheng Li's parents and Yeon's brother were murdered by JJ. In the next scene, Mojo steals the chairman's medical report. Cheng Li tells about the U.S. specialist, which increases the chances of surgery. A family meeting is held where everyone votes against the surgery. Only Cindy supports it. In the end, the chairman shouts loudly, my surgery will be done and it will definitely be done. Cheng Li, you tell me when that specialist doctor will come. Cheng Li says, sir, I will get it arranged quickly. After meeting, the chairman says to Andrew, before the surgery, I want to get your engagement done. You like Yeon, don't you? So, marry her. Hearing this, Andrew gets very happy. Then JJ says to Andrew, if Neil won after the election, he would not marry his daughter to me. Therefore, get Neil's secret file quickly. Andrew says yes. Then Andrew finds out 70% of Dodo Group Hotel's income comes from the duty-free shop, where top brands are sold. He then calls Bobby. In the next scene, Bobby talks about his handbag business to Nathan and says, Nathan will have to get his bag sold in Cindy's hotel's duty-free shop. Nathan says he will talk to Cindy. At the mother's insistence, Cindy listens to Nathan. Then Andrew tells the plan to Bobby. Instead of the real brand, keep fake handbags and transfer $2 million into Cindy's account. Then we will send her to jail. Gray secretly takes his photos. Seeing them, Cheng Li makes a plan to fix a secret mic in the car. Bobby tells, at the time of surgery, he will kidnap the chairman and give him to Andrew. Meanwhile, Gray tells, the doctor who did the autopsy of Yeon's brother has committed suicide. Cheng Li tells Yeon. So she meets the doctor's brother and takes a file which contains details related to Studio Hospital, Cheng Li's parents' death, and the fire. And it is written, everything will be found in the Pandora box. On the other side, Andrew comes to keep the fake will in the chairman's safety locker, but finds the Pandora box there, which contains dangerous secrets of Neil and JJ. Right there, Yeon tells Cheng Li. Hearing this, Cheng Li says, now our next target is that Pandora box. Then, JJ asks Andrew for the Pandora box, so he flatly refuses. Then, before the surgery, Cindy meets her father and gives him courage. Papa, nothing will happen to you. Outside the operation theater, Bobby tells Andrew on the call, after the surgery, they will kidnap the chairman. Nathan also calls Bobby and says, kidnap Papa at the right time. After the surgery, the nurse calls Bobby and says, the surgery has just finished. You people come to kidnap. Then the surgeon comes out and tells everyone the surgery has been done. He is absolutely fine. Then the chairman is shown whose condition worsens after the surgery. The nurse's injection has an effect, due to which the chairman's heartbeat stops. Then another nurse comes and, after checking the chairman, says, the chairman is no longer alive. Then Bobby comes wearing a staff dress and mask. As soon as he removes the sheet from the chairman's bed, the chairman is not there. Then the doctor tells the PA, the chairman is dead but his body is missing. Chung-Lee goes to check the hospital's CCTV. Right there, Andrew tortures Bobby and asks about the chairman. So he says, I don't know anything. Then they see in the CCTV that someone wearing a mask is taking the chairman on a wheelchair. Then the chairman's wife says, his body has not been found, so what? We will get his funeral done. Hearing this, Andrew says, if we did this, Dodo Group's market will fall completely. The chairman's wife slaps him and says, are you afraid that if the funeral happens, you will get nothing from his property? Now, all this property is mine. Andrew silently goes out. In the next scene, the chairman's funeral is held, but the people who came there do not know that the chairman's body is not in the box. JJ comes and says to Andrew, you did not do right with me. You will definitely come to ask for help from me. Then Chung-Lee says to JJ, I will find out all your secrets soon. Then I will get you locked in forever. Then we see the chairman in a house. He is conscious, but is unable to get up and cannot say anything. Then, in a meeting, calling everyone, the chairman's original will is read. According to it, 50% of the property should be given to Nathan, 30% to Cindy, and 20% to the chairman's wife. Andrew acts of being sad while coming out. He says to Yeon, I will be kicked out from here too. Sorry, I did engagement after showing you false dreams. Yeon says, no, it is nothing like that. I have nothing to do with property. I just want that you stay with me with a true heart. Andrew hugs her on this pretext. Just then, John comes and says, JJ's bodyguard is being released. Yeon takes a best dish for him, but JJ also comes there and says to the bodyguard, today, I will drive the car for you. John says, you bought food for him, yet he went after JJ? She says, no, he is indeed JJ's loyalist, but we have shaken his conscience a little. Right there, JJ takes the bodyguard to a secluded house. Outside stands the same nurse. Here it is revealed, in reality, the chairman was kidnapped by JJ. This nurse is JJ's loyalist, not Bobby's. Then the chairman opens his eyes. So, JJ says, for the whole world you are dead, but to tell the truth, only your daughter was very sad, only she loves you truly. Others were quite happy, and the Andrew, whom you were considering your favorite, you will be able to see his reality with your own eyes. On the other side, before the shareholding meeting, the chairman's wife sends Yeon with Cindy to get documents. There, Yeon finds a paper in the box. She sees that it is the document of the will, reading which Cindy is shocked because in it, all the property is in Andrew's name. Yeon says, this will be considered the final will of the chairman. Now, discussion is going on in the shareholders meeting. Just then, Yeon and Cindy come there and show that will. Nathan starts beating Andrew in anger. Just then, Andrew's mobile falls near Yeon, which she picks up. Right there, JJ's bodyguard sends the chairman's picture to Andrew. That mobile was in Yeon's hand. She is shocked to see that picture. Then she secretly follows Andrew. Then she hides and listens to the talk of JJ and Andrew. JJ says to Andrew, your father is with me. So Andrew says, what do you want? He says, I just want that Pandora box. Andrew plays a recording for JJ in which Bobby had said to that nurse, we have to kidnap the chairman and hand him over to Andrew. In return, Andrew will give us several $1 million. JJ says, if I leaked this recording, you will be in jail. I even suspect that the new will is fake, and you have also prepared it and kept it in the safe. Andrew says, fine, I will give you those files, but first I want to see my father. In the next scene, Chung-Lee asks Yeon, I want that you check that will once again. Was it really written by the chairman or someone else? Yeon says, fine, I will verify it. In the next scene, she asks Andrew, did you get to know anything about your father's body? He says, not yet, but our SPD team is on that job. Something will be known soon. Yeon notes down this lie of his, and she remembers that day when Andrew had taken a beating from JJ to save her. Then JJ had said, as long as you are alive, you will remain in my control. Yeon feels perhaps Andrew is doing this out of fear of JJ. But Chung-Lee says, if Andrew is really doing all this out of fear of JJ, then why is he hiding it from you? She says, the further planning is that if we take out the proof against JJ, which is in the Pandora box, then we can get Andrew rid of JJ. In the next scene, Andrew goes to see the chairman in that house where JJ has kept him. Andrew says, I wanted to acquire Dodo Group to take revenge for the injustice you did to my mother. And I have become successful. Whatever problems are going on in Dodo Group, I will fix them. Until the end, I will take care of you myself, because this was also my mother's wish. On the other side, Chung-Lee gets Bobby's mouth opened and records all his words. Bobby tells, look, whatever I did, everything was done at Andrew's behest and according to his plan. On the other side, Andrew is going to his office. Then the police stop him and say, you have to come to the station. Andrew understands Bobby has been caught, and when he goes to the station, Bobby is sitting there after taking a beating from Chung Lee. Now the chairman's wife, Nathan, and Cindy, all three are considered innocent and are released. Then the police ask Andrew, did you ask Bobby to do everything? Andrew looks at Bobby and asks, why are there so many injuries on your face? Did Chung Lee and his men beat you and force you to confess all this? Bobby catches this point and starts crying, yes, it is not my fault in this. Chung Lee says, you take as much time as you want and also question us, but do find out the truth, please. The police officer says, fine, I will reach the bottom of this matter. There, Chung Lee asks Yan directly, I had asked you to find out whether that will is real or fake. Yan says, yes, I have sent it for testing. It will be known soon. Hearing this, Andrew says, yes, you definitely get it checked. Satisfy yourself. On the other side, Chung Lee says to Gray, you tell Cindy that she should arrange an emergency shareholders meeting. Then I'll see what Andrew does. On the other side, JJ tells his bodyguard, arrange my meeting with the director of Set Capital Company as soon as possible. Only then will we be able to arrange the loan because if we delayed, Dodo Group will slip from the hands. On the other side, Penny is shown who comes from Korea. She tells, I am the director of the company named Set Capital. But JJ does not know that the director of Set Capital Company is actually Penny. Here, a small flashback is shown that actually Gerard had told Chung Lee that JJ has invested all his funds in the company named Set Capital and is also going to give those same funds in Neil's election campaign. After this, Chung Lee made a master plan that he would transfer all the bank accounts of his companies into that investment company named Set Capital. Under this scheme, Penny had become the director of Set Capital. In the next scene, an emergency shareholders meeting is held where Cindy asks Andrew, your bonds are going to expire and you have also refused to accept our bonds. So now tell from where's the intention of bringing funds? Andrew says, the loan will be ready for me in a while. Then I will not need to take your help. In this way, Mojo brings Penny to Dodo Group. There, JJ taunts Penny, you have come again. Whom do you intend to ruin this time? Penny ignores and leaves. The bodyguard tells JJ, we have received news that the director of Set Capital has left the airport, but we did not find her anywhere. JJ immediately calls the number of the director. She says, I am in Dodo Group and I am far above you. Just look up, Mr. JJ. JJ is startled and looks up. Penny is standing on the stairs attending his call. JJ's mouth remains wide open. She says, now the end of your story is going to happen. Saying this, she laughs and leaves. Here in the meeting, Andrew is also startled to see Penny. Penny says in front of everyone, my company will not give a loan to Andrew. Chung Lee then stands up and asks, you tell when you will accept our bonds? If there is not so much amount with you to buy bonds, then silently hand over Dodo Group to us and get out. Andrew says in anger, there is still 1 month left for the bonds to expire. I will keep full funds ready within 1 month. On the other side, the result of the will that was sent for testing in the lab comes, in which it is written, the handwriting is exactly like the chairman's, but the paper on which the will is written has the fingerprints of a handwriting fraud who has gone to jail several times after writing such fake wills. Knowing this, Jan is now firmly convinced Andrew has planned something. This is not the will written by the chairman. Still, Jan wants to give Andrew one last chance and invites him for dinner. She asks, the result of that will has come. The handwriting matches the chairman's handwriting, but according to the news I got, it was not written by the chairman, but by a fraud. His fingerprints are on that paper. Jan says, this is the result of that test. When all the people of the family gather again to pay him tribute in a ceremony, then you confess your mistake in front of everyone and tell them the truth. Only then will I forgive you. Andrew, becoming very worried, catches her hand. Please listen to me why I did all this. But Jan pulls her hand and leaves. The next day, before going for the chairman's death ceremony, she comes to that house where the chairman is. On the other side, everyone is sitting in the ceremony. Just then, Jan brings the chairman there. Everyone is convinced the chairman is really alive and Jan had kept him somewhere for all these days. The chairman's wife shouts at Jan, oh, so you had kidnapped my husband and kept him for all these days? Jan says, yes, I took care of the chairman for all these days and he was with me and this was not my will. It was his own will. So the wife shouts at the chairman, why did you do this? Anyway, you have named all the property after that favorite, illegitimate son of yours. The chairman says, yes, I only wrote that will. After going home, the doctor checks the chairman and tells, for now he cannot talk and cannot walk. Take care of him. He will gradually become normal. Then, when the chairman and Andrew are alone, Andrew says, no matter how much you protect me, my anger towards you will not decrease. Please forgive me, Papa. Saying this, he leaves. On the other side, a meeting between Chung Lee and Neil occurs in the car. But Neil does not know that a secret mic was already set in that car by Gerard. Chung-Lee says, look, if you want my support, you will have to leave JJ's side. Neil also agrees to this. Through that secret mic, JJ is shocked to hear this. Neil is also committing treachery with me. Actually, Chung-Lee was doing this to create a rift between Neil and JJ. In the next scene, Yeon does a show on TV in which she asks, if anyone knows about the Pandora box, then call us and tell. And just then, a call comes from an anonymous number. I know about the Pandora box, and it contains secret files of some important people of Dodo Group. Now hearing this, Chung-Lee is startled. Who could this be who has just called? Yeon asks that caller in the live, is the Pandora box with you? Where is it? Tell this. The caller says, I want $1 million for that information. Saying this, he cuts the call. In the next scene, Chung-Lee gets a call from an unknown number. The files of Pandora box are with me. Do you want them? I want $5 million. Chung-Lee says, you give me the Pandora box, then I will give as much as you ask, not just $5 million. But the caller says, no, not so soon. I want time to think, and cuts the call. In the next scene, the PA calls and says, your father wants to meet you. Do you really have that Pandora box? You come home right now and meet your father. Andrew is talking when JJ mixes a sedative in his drink. Andrew says, I will meet Papa tomorrow, and cuts the call. JJ says, first take this drink and relax. I will find some solution tomorrow. Andrew drinks it. But Nathan, standing outside, hears all this and finds out the Pandora box is with Andrew, which will also contain my file. JJ, giving Andrew's fingerprint, says to his bodyguard, go to the office and open the safe and bring the Pandora box. The bodyguard goes to the office and opens the safe with the fingerprint, but is shocked because the safe is absolutely empty. On the day of the election, voting starts. In the end, Neil wins the election and becomes the president, at which JJ in anger is doing breaking and thumping in the hotel room. Then Chung-Lee comes and says to him, it seems you have completely lost. JJ, laughing, mentions Chung-Lee's parents, on which Chung-Lee, in anger, hits him with a punch and says, I will get you the punishment of death. On the other side, the chairman's wife takes great care of the chairman, but the chairman still does not trust her. But the wife says, remember the thing from many years ago? At that time, we neither had such a big house nor so much wealth, yet how happy we were. You used to bring something or the other for me every day while coming from the office. Facilities were less, but we were living in peace. From the day we earned more money than our need, since we started acquiring several companies since then, our peace has ended. And friends, the chairman finds her words absolutely right that yes, at that time the money was less, but there was peace in the heart. Today, see how much tension and how much hatred there is. The wife, laughing, says, look, if you want, we can bring back that happiness even today. You name all your property after Andrew of your own will, but at least leave one company for your children, Nathan and Cindy. Just then, the PA comes and tells, Sir, Dodo Group has gone bankrupt. Chung-Lee has withdrawn his bonds. The next day, Chung-Lee's team thinks about the unknown caller. Chung-Lee remembers he must be associated with the old hospital. Just then, Chung-Lee becomes blind for a while. His scan is done. The doctor actually tells, in a few months, the sight will be completely gone. Mojo finds out the person who stole the Pandora box and called Chung-Lee is Nathan's assistant, who used to work in the hospital earlier. Chung-Lee tells him, catch him. The assistant tries to run away. Andrew and JJ both go after him. The assistant calls Chung-Lee and says, the files are with me. Give $5 million and save my life. Chung-Lee asks, where are you? The assistant tells the name of the road where he is driving. Mojo checks on the map and finds out the road is near the hotel. Chung-Lee says to the assistant, go toward the Dodo Group Hotel Road. I will wait for you there. If those people catch you, do not hand over the files to them at any cost because your life can remain safe only through those files. Andrew and JJ do not leave the assistant and keep chasing in full speed. Then, to escape from an accident, he drives the car onto a platform. He gets a lot of injuries, but somehow he comes out. Just then, JJ and Nathan reach. Then, Andrew and his assistant reach. Andrew says, leave him. He is my man. JJ says to Nathan, beat these two and leave them, and take that assistant with us. Then JJ leaves, and Andrew and his assistant are beaten badly. Andrew is not even able to get up, and his assistant, Andrew, says, first it is necessary to take the file, because he had promised Yeon to give the Pandora box. Just then, Chung-Lee's call comes on that assistant's mobile. Andrew tells, JJ and Nathan have caught the assistant and taken him away. Then, the assistant is shown tied up in an old factory where he has been beaten a lot. Nathan threatens him, tell the location of the file, then I will spare your life. The assistant says, I don't have any file. Just then, JJ gets a call in which the caller says, the Pandora box files are with me. I have talked to Chung-Lee. He is ready to give $5 million. If you want the file, how much will you give? JJ doubts. Actually, it is Chung-Lee only who is calling from a voice changer. JJ gets ready to give $8 million. After that, Chung Lee also calls Nathan and tells him, there is proof of your crimes too in the file. Nathan gets ready to give 10 million. Then Nathan tells JJ, send a man. I will bring the file and also catch the caller. Then Chung Lee follows Nathan. Chung Lee says to Nathan, where's the assistant? Tell me. But Nathan, in pride, refuses. In anger, Chung Lee beats him. Gray tells, the last location of the car was an old factory. The police are called and everyone reaches there. As soon as the police arrive, JJ's men run away and the assistant is saved. The assistant tells, the file is safe. On the other side, Andrew is in the hospital and says, sorry to Yan, I could not give the file again. But Gina consoles him. Then Chung Lee calls and tells, the file has been found. Chung Lee gives the file to Yan. Then Yan will expose everything live on TV. She makes them listen to 3 voice recordings. In the first, Nathan and JJ are talking about the murder of Chung Lee's parents. In the second, JJ confesses his crimes. In the third, JJ tells the truth of the incident of Neil's daughter and his wife. Hearing all this, Neil is shattered. Yan says, the murder of my brother was also committed by JJ and the bodyguard is a witness. She appeals to the bodyguard to surrender. The police start searching for JJ. On the other side, Chung Lee and his team hold a meeting for Dodo Group takeover. Andrew decides, I will sell the company to someone else but not to Chung Lee. The chairman meets Chung Lee, talks about giving his shares, and asks for forgiveness. While saying all this, the chairman is shattered from within. On the other side, JJ buys a gun with 2 bullets by giving all his savings in a shop. Then he goes to Yan's car in the parking lot and says to the bodyguard, open it. The bodyguard asks, what are you going to do here? Suddenly on seeing JJ taking out the gun, he gets panicked and asks, are you going to murder Yan? JJ says, yes, whatever desire I had kept to earn money and power. All that has mixed in the dust. Chung Lee and Yan both will die by my hands. Unaware of this, Yan comes after a while and sits in the car. Suddenly, JJ threatens from behind by pointing the gun and says, what did you think? I would leave you alive so easily? On the other side, Andrew is standing on the edge of the bridge about to commit suicide. He calls the chairman and says, Papa, I want to say something to you. When I came from the US, there was only hatred in my heart for you and I wanted to take revenge on you. But when I came close to you, I felt that perhaps from childhood, I should have lived near you. You started looking very good to me. I will miss you a lot. Saying this, he cries bitterly. The chairman understands his talk and asks, son, where are you? Andrew just says, I am sorry, Papa, and cuts the call. Then he gets a call from an unknown number. JJ's bodyguard tells him, JJ has kidnapped Yan and is going to murder her. Then he also tells this thing to Chung Lee. On the other side, JJJ, after beating Yan, throws her down and says, your death is going to happen, but I am not responsible for this, only Chung Lee is. At this very time, Andrew comes running and pounces on JJ. He sits on top of JJ and shouts, Yan, do not stay here, run away quickly. Yan goes away from there and Andrew tries to kill JJ by strangling his throat, but JJ, picking up the gun lying nearby, shoots Andrew in the stomach. Hearing the sound, Yan turns, but Andrew still says, do not stay here, run away. Meanwhile, JJ, after throwing Andrew down, points the gun at Yan. Before shooting, Andrew catches his hand and the second bullet also hits Andrew. Andrew is lying on the ground, drenched in blood. Hearing the police siren, JJ runs away. Yan comes running to Andrew. Andrew, wiping her tears, says, I saved you. This is enough. I have loved you very much. Will you not forgive me? Yan says, do not talk like this. Save your energy. I will take you to the hospital. But Andrew dies in Yan's lap, and Yan is completely shocked and cries a lot while clinging to him. On the other side, Chung Lee sees JJ running there and runs him over with the car. JJ falls but still says, my game is not over yet, Chung Lee. I will ruin you. Then Chung Lee reaches while searching for Yan, where Andrew is lying dead and she is crying. The next day, Yan is sitting sadly in the office when the bodyguard comes and says, forgive me, I am ready to give testimony against JJ. The murder of Yan's brother was committed by JJ, and I myself am its eyewitness. Hearing this, Yan gets emotional because her struggle ends today. On the other side, Kimmy accepts in front of the press, the death of JJ's first wife happened unintentionally by me. Then Chung Lee meets President Neil and requests him to get JJ the punishment of hanging, and Neil agrees. The next day, while taking JJ to jail, Chung Lee says, this time you will not be able to escape, and when you are given non-veg soup, that will be your last day. In the next scene, Chung Lee makes Mojo the chairman of Dodo Group and makes Penny the head of the organization. Chung Lee's blindness keeps increasing, and he sees Yeon for the last time when she is going to Germany. At that moment, Chung Lee's eyesight is completely gone. Then, after 2 years, it is shown JJ is hanged. The chairman starts living a normal life with the family. Yeon comes back to Korea and goes to Andrew's memorial, where she finds out from Mojo Chung Lee has become blind. Then she decides to stay with Chung Lee. Then, while going for the operation, both Chung Lee and Yeon confess their love, and here the series comes to the end.